You know it's going to be that day when we're playing Don fucking Henley on Vape Radio. But hey, we vape everything, we play everything. Welcome to Vape Radio, Pablo and the Rodman. What's up?
What's up? Good morning.
You are not in a good mood today.
No, I'm not. No, I actually am not.
Yeah.
I'm actually really
You want to talk about it now?
I'm pissed. It's
Yeah, it was a long. It was an interesting weekend.
Yeah,
to say the least.
I'm gonna let you take the lead because I'm like biting my tongue right now. Honestly, so yeah, we're gonna talk about this weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And because obviously we were there firsthand,
right?
Experience broadcasting live all weekend. Mm-hmm. Of course, brought to you by our good friends at Vapor 42.
I missed the bell all weekend. We did not have the bell.
Yeah, and I didn't hit it. You hit the bell because I'm not even in a bell hitting mood this morning. Honestly,
You're not.
But yeah, it's and I was there obviously firsthand doing the advocacy and Vape Radio, of course, broadcast and everything. So of course we're right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to talk about it. I need a rock star and let's
get yourself together.
I'm pissed though. I really am, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
yeah. Well, get yourself together. I will say my favorite find of the weekend.
I'm not biting my tongue today. This will either be our best radio show ever or the last radio show ever. I'm serious, and I'm so not fucking joking either.
Right.
This weekend was
yeah, you know what?
I'm just,
dude.
The thing is
the thing about it is,
and you know, I'm friends with everybody in this situation, and I'm, I was up close personally and have a different perspective than anybody. And
that's true.
It's, I'm pretty pissed though about the situation.
Yeah.
And
why don't you
say that.
I know, why don't you kind of take a breath?
Well, I'm probably going to piss some people off. I'm probably going to lose some friends today. I'm probably, this is. Well,
why don't you get yourself together? Get some, like I say, get some caffeine in you. Kind of. But process how you want to address this.
It is.
And we'll go through it. And for those who don't know, we'll kind of paint the backstory and kind of lay it out. Because, there are plenty of people don't know anything about what we're talking about. Right. A lot of people do. And now we will kind of paint the picture.
I know you would have preferred not to talk about it, but I haven't going.
Well, obviously, it's going to be addressed.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna.
It's going to be addressed, no doubt.
All right.
So just go get you ready. Get in a calm.
Oh, I'm ready.
Get in a calm.
I'm ready.
Happy center place. Center yourself. Get your chi aligned so that you can bring it.
All right. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, this is gonna get. Yeah. This is exactly what I need. Right.
How low can you go? Death row. What
Chili Peppers, Vape Radio, Higher Ground, with Pablo and the Rodman. Send that one out to our boy Vince. Love you. You ready to speak your mind now? You feeling better? You got some caffeine in you?
I'm not feeling better, but yeah, I got some caffeine. So.
All right. Well, let's talk about it.
I just hate it. Period. That we even are.
I agree.
After this weekend, are here
having to
have this conversation.
Right. I agree.
Honestly.
Mm-hmm. We should be having a discussion about what a great weekend we had.
No.
And the amount of money.
Yeah.
That was raised.
No, that's exactly what
advocacy.
That's the main thing I'm pissed about right now with everybody.
Right.
With everybody that was involved in any of this that went on this weekend, because inside the four walls of that building was a great vape show.
Damn right.
A lot was done. Look, let me tell you something. When I first got there, all right, when I first got to Richmond, Virginia, I met with Jay Taylor and Jan, guys from the Virginia Smoke-Free Association. We sit down and we talked about how they were in trouble.
Yeah.
They said, you know what, man, we got about 3 months, dude, or we're going to be outdone. We got about 3 months of funding.
Right.
We have over 300 shops. We only have 19 members. In the state of Virginia, we have 19 members. We need help, Rod. We need to do something. We need to make a splash. We need something at this show. We need help.
We were
I made it a
by
point.
that.
I was appalled by that.
Right.
I honestly was pissed off about that. But you know what? I didn't get in a row uptight and go off about that.
Say,
I went, you know what? Let's do something about that.
Let's find some creative ways to build that up.
Change this.
Right.
Change this situation. So you know what? We worked all weekend long on Vape Radio, bringing you interviews, everything as it happened. Pablo, Scotty, Saturn, everybody worked really hard to bring you the content, and it was great. There was no drama. It was perfect. It was great, information
great
done.
Guests.
Yes. And I worked with the Virginia Smoke-Free Association and Jay Taylor
And Jan.
and those guys to come up with a way that we could do something to get this membership up and to raise funding so they could be funded through the end of this fucking year
Right.
for advocacy in the state of Virginia.
Right.
And you know what?
It worked.
We did it.
Right.
I worked my ass off. You guys worked your ass off. The people in Virginia came out. The companies that were there, we signed up more members. We raised almost $20,000. We did a lot of good in Virginia.
Yeah.
This weekend.
A lot of brand new people.
That's the freaking story.
Right. That should be what we're talking
and
about.
And instead,
right now.
we've got all this crap going around from everywhere.
Yeah.
And we can get into that if you want. But
Yeah.
my biggest thing that I'm pissed about is feeling like, what are you doing? What are we doing, guys?
Right.
You know what? And I told the people there in Virginia, y'all have been lucky because the Virginia Smoke-Free Association has done a fantastic job with the limited funds
Yes.
and the limited membership and things that they have. It is very good for the guys in Virginia, advocacy-wise.
Absolutely.
But that group was in trouble. They need the help. And it's a damn shame that only 19 shops were members. That's changed. We've got the membership up
Right.
since we were there this weekend.
And hopefully that will
I'm not
continue
sure.
to grow.
I'm going to get with Jay, and we're going to get the final numbers on that. We're going to have him on as a guest and speak about what happened with Virginia Smoke Free and what everything where they're at coming up.
Yeah.
But we got the money, we got the fund, we got vendors that aren't even in the state of Virginia to come in and just go, you know what? From now on, 25 cents to every bottle I sell is going to go to the Virginia Smoke Free Association. Distinctive did that.
Awesome.
Shannon and Sheila Eichner, those guys,
Good people.
amazing people.
That should be the story.
That should be the standard for if every company did that, funding advocacy wouldn't be a fucking problem.
Right.
That's then they wouldn't come around and ask for big donations, because we need to fund this or
Right.
that or whatever. But it just really pisses me off because this is what good came out of this show this weekend.
Right.
This really was good and amazing for the Virginia Smoke Free. We did good things. There were smokers converted this weekend. There were people that were at their very first vape show this weekend.
Right, a lot of newcomers.
And we're amazed, And instead, it's being drowned out by this dirty laundry and dirty crap.
Right.
And there's right and wrong on both sides. I'll be honest. I love both of these people involved in this crap, and it really is upsetting that the hard work and what the focus should be on is on the things that it's on instead of the good work that was done this weekend.
You're right.
And I think that's part of the damn problem that we've got to stop it right here, right now. Call a spade a spade. No, it's got to stop regardless.
Yeah.
Everybody. Look, the focus should be. We're over here dealing with this drama, fake ass drama,
Right.
causing fake ass drama, what have you. Meanwhile, the Virginia Smoke Free Association needs our help as a community from vape manufacturers. If you sell e-liquid in Virginia, you should be helping these guys out. If you're making money and profit out of them, you should be helping them. If you're a vape shop owner in Virginia and you're not a member,
What's wrong with
what
you?
is wrong with you?
Right.
That's the story. That's what needs to be happening right now.
Right.
And instead, we're dealing with all this fake-ass drama. And meanwhile, our competition, guess who was on CBS this morning, on CBS News this morning?
I'm betting.
Talking about flavors and vaping and how bad it was.
I'm
and
betting
everything.
not a responsible vape vendor.
No.
I'm betting it's somebody from big insert a
Can't
word
be for
here.
tobacco-free kids, and they're taking us to town.
shocker.
Meanwhile, over here.
Right.
But yet, what is it we want to talk about? What is it the vape community, what is it the people want to talk about?
Drama.
Yeah. Like it's fucking Jerry Springer.
Right. You ain't wrong. You're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong. The focus has been shifted away from what it should be about.
When you're making me get serious,
Right. That's true. When you've made the Rodman start to become a man, like, what the
I'm
hell?
typically the oldest guy in the room, and now you're making me act like it because, damn it, this is bullshit, guys. This is bullshit.
Yeah, it really is. Where you're just like, is anybody gonna walk in the room? Like when I was a kid, like me and my brothers would be fighting about something.
We need
and
Dad to
eventually,
come home.
there hit a point of arguing and whatever bullshit was going on. That my dad walked in the room and was like, "Well, I'll take this belt off and whip every
All of
fucking
you.
one of you.
All of you.
Y'all gonna
All
cut
of
this
you."
shit out." If we gotta play dad, well, so be it. But we'll talk more about it.
And I want to talk about and why and let's talk about the vendor.
Yeah.
And the question and the issue at hand.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
I was there. You got a question you want to ask me? Ask me. 1-888-VAPE-FAM.
Sure,
All right, call me.
sure.
But the thing is like I said,
Right, we'll give everybody equal time.
Yeah,
Sure.
the focus I want to talk about is honestly Virginia Smoke-Free Association. There was over $20,000 there funded down for the end of the year. You know what? That's not going to be enough, guys. If you're making money in
Right.
Virginia,
Right.
again,
Virginia of
that's
Virginia of all states.
right.
You know.
I mean, we're right there in the backyard of Big Tobacco. We're right
Two
there.
blocks from
we're,
Altria.
looking down, and some great things happened at that show this weekend. Actually,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
and there was things were handled wrong on. Both ends in some cases, and some more than others, and I'm not really happy about that. But again, Virginia Smoke-Free Association, I think, and the good that was done there, and the smokers converted there, I think, that's the story.
Yeah.
It should be.
It should be. It should be. Here, we got a call. Hi, Vape Radio.
Hey, it's Bo McCoy from Bounce Betty. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, Bo?
Hey, boom.
Hey, listen, I got a challenge. I don't, me and Drama are kind of like on polar opposite ends of the earth because I got a heart condition.
Right,
Well, how about this? I'll join, Bouncing Betty will join the VTA if they will allow us as an adjunct member. And the first vape shop that picks up Bouncing Betty juice carry, because we're not in Virginia yet, is the first shop that picks us up, we will match dollar for dollar and donate to VTA. So they spend $200 picking up Bouncing Buddy. We'll match it with $200. In other words, they get their juice, and we're going to take the money they give us and
basically you're going to take your profits and give it to the Virginia Smoke-Free Association. Is that what you're?
Yeah. Well, the first vape shop that picks us up in Virginia.
Right.
There you go.
And we will join VTA as an adjunct member.
VSFA.
All right. So we'll do that. And
The VSFA.
And
Right.
I'm doing that. You know what? Yeah, exactly. I'm doing this for two people. I'm doing this for everybody in Virginia, and I'm doing it for Rod.
Boom.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Bo.
We love you, brother.
man. Yeah, very much. Again, that's what we need.
Right.
I mean,
That's a creative.
Thank you, yes,
and that's
thank
a
you, Bo.
creative
Bouncing
solution.
Betty stepping up.
Right.
Quit being a part of the problem. Let's start coming up with solutions.
Right.
I hate nothing worse than when employees come to me and they go, "I got a problem, and I don't know what to do." Right. You know what? Come with me with a solution.
Yeah.
And thank you, Bo. That's a solution.
That's
That's
a
the kind
cor-
of things we need.
That's the type of creative thinking we need more of.
That's cool, buddy. So y'all, I'm in. So I made it public, so I'll stand by my word. So
Gotcha.
I'm going to do that.
There you go.
Any order you
Get me in
bounce.
touch with the right people, and I'll take care of it.
There you go, Virginia
And we'll
shops.
bounce
There you
our
go.
asses right to Virginia.
There you go. All those Virginia shops. There you go.
There you go.
Do that.
Yeah.
To raise some money. All right, brother. Thank you for your call,
very,
man.
Very much. It is, dude.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating,
It
man.
is, and we need more of that. We need more of
Right.
the creative solutions.
Solutions on
Yeah.
it because again, a lot of stuff happened this weekend, and I'm not happy about what happened this weekend.
Right.
I'm not happy how it started. Not happy how it's finishing.
Right.
All right, what's going on now?
Right.
And-
Well, you know what? Let's take a break. For those who don't know, we'll come back and kind of paint the picture. Because again, I know a lot of people know what's going on or what they think is what's going on. We'll come back and kind of paint the picture here in just a bit. Sound good?
All right.
All right. Be right back. Vape Radio.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Have you tried Mama's Kitchen e-liquids yet? This multi-award-winning company.
Can't stop the shining. Can't stop the shining. You wanna stop the shining?
Wyclef. Vape Radio. We trying to stay alive. We trying. That's what it's about, man.
Freaking killing ourselves is what we're freaking doing.
Right.
It's
We'll get back into this. We do have a phone call though. Somebody
You
wanted
gonna
to
talk
make
about
a
what happened?
comment. Yeah. All right. Hi, Vape Radio. Who's this?
This is Yvonne
Hey, what's up, Yvonne?
Hey, Yvonne.
calling in. Hey, I was calling in because I heard you guys' topic, and I wanted to share a Facebook message that I had a while back in April with somebody who's in advocacy. He's one of our well-known advocates, and he was telling me about how back in 2012 he had killed a bill in his hometown, and after he was done, the cigar lobbyist had came up to him and said, "You folks don't have to do this for Big Tobacco to take over. All Big Tobacco has to do is sit back and watch you folks destroy yourselves, because that's what will happen in the next 5 years."
Right.
And then he goes on to say that sentiment was repeated to him by many who call him to call them his mentors. And here we are. It's happening. It's real. It is irreversible, and that it still holds true since 2012.
And that is sad.
And that's what I see is that our industry is just we're beating each other up.
Yeah. No, we absolutely are, and the fact that it that it can just be on blast for the entire world and everybody to see all this carnage, when meanwhile there's very good things that are happening, but yet we don't give that the credence that it deserves.
Right.
I mean, it's just like e-liquid lines and manufacturers that are doing it the right way, and you don't give them. You assume that they're good, and meanwhile you're what are the masses buying? The people that are doing it wrong, and they wonder why that happens.
Right.
It's like, you know what, guys, you've got to start putting your money where your mouth is. When we say no drama, it's got to be no drama. And this weekend was a clusterfuck of drama.
Well, and it's got to be more. We've got to get more cerebral as a industry. Because our industry kind of goes like the evening news is gone. If it bleeds, it leads.
Right.
Yeah,
and
we
if
have to
it's
be more cognizant of the fact that. We have to be more cognizant of the fact that every time we attack ourselves, our own family, and we're killing ourselves, that we're letting big tobacco win every time.
There you go.
Because they come out, not that they come out looking like roses or anything, but they have the upper hand every time we sit there and kill each other off.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Yvonne.
You're welcome. You guys have a great one.
Hey, you too, dear. Yeah, it's like the news. It's like if it bleeds, it leads. And the story about the good people in your community who are feeding the homeless and helping literacy programs and things like that, that doesn't get the big news push.
No.
The big drama that happened at a shooting at a nightclub. That gets all the news, all the coverage. And that's kind of what our industry does.
No, absolutely.
We put the crazy on a pedestal.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, for those who don't know what we're talking about, and I know there are plenty who don't.
Yeah, because I guess we're going to need to get into it.
Right. I mean, situation is, all right, so we get into National Vape Expo, Richmond, over the weekend.
You're going to paint the picture of what...
Right. First off, props to the people of Richmond.
Yes,
for being great
absolutely.
hosts.
The city of Richmond, the vapors there, the vaping community in Richmond.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And even just the regular non-vapor, non-smokers,
Just
the
the
folks
town
who
of
just
Richmond,
work
right.
in the bars and restaurants and played host to us. They were
Right.
great. Great city.
Beautiful.
So we get there, and I'm trying to think like where exactly we need to start. I guess first and foremost is, I guess we could say, okay, we got there Friday, we get everything set up, we get all our stuff, we're doing our thing that we do for
Getting
Vape
our
Radio.
booth and our electrical equipment set up,
right,
and
then
cat lines ran, and
right. And then Saturday comes, and we start doing our thing.
Right.
And right before we started, we saw a guy we know.
Right.
Matthew Elliott.
Yeah.
From Strong Island Vapes.
Right.
You've heard him here on Vape Radio before.
Absolutely.
He likes Carly Rae Jepsen way too much. But we saw him, hugged his neck. Good to see him.
Absolutely love Matthew.
Right. And from there, next thing I hear, like hours later, and this was after it happened, is, Matthew got kicked out. I'm like, well,
Right.
I don't know what happened, because I had not been watching my social media, but apparently a whole thing had happened.
And I couldn't even back up further than that, actually. I mean, when I first got to the arena, if you remember correctly, I actually had left my sunglasses, had to go back and retrieve them.
You did,
because Lord knows I cannot operate a vape convention without shades.
It's kind of your trademark.
Right, and when you get old, it hides the lines. But the thing is, so I come in late, a few minutes late after things are going underway, and of course I'm presented with the fact that, have you seen... what and it was told to me as, did you see what the Legion did? And there was a post of one of the vendors there,
right?
Mama-san, and one of their
Gram Slam
thing, and it had been obviously posted on the internet. I hadn't seen it at that point. I'm running late, carrying luggage in, trying to make it.
We're
in the
doing
door.
our thing,
right? I'm like, no, I haven't seen that, and then. I don't even know who it was that posted it. I have no idea. I don't know where it came from or whatever, but apparently it was just a backdrop, and it was something that that was brought to my attention. I go over to speak with the show organizer, Michael, about it, and he's upset that this is going on and that he feels that one of his vendors and his show is being attacked.
Right.
And so obviously this is turning into a bad situation, like a not good situation. I encouraged him.
But in all fairness, this was a fairly small bad situation at the time.
At that time, right? Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. Fast forward. I mean, when we're doing the advocacy panel, right in the middle of the advocacy, I'm doing the advocacy panel. I'm on stage. That's when I see that something's going on, and it looks like that Michael is having Matt removed from the show.
Right. Now, Matt was standing in front of the stage for the advocacy panel.
And he does that at almost any show, every show that he's at.
And
I can
dozens
tell
of
you,
people do.
Yes, I've seen. Yes, dozens of people do, and he always right. That's
To live
and,
stream.
and I just want to say thank you for all the people that do
Exactly.
that. I think that's a great thing to share what's going on inside that building to as many people as possible. I know our ratings during the advocacy panel were through the roof because there are people all over the world actually listening into that advocacy panel.
We carry it live.
We carry it live, the advocacy as it happens.
And that's what we want. We want all the Vape Nation to get the message that these advocates are talking about. Get whatever the latest update is, all the info that they have. And Matt, like many other people, and I even went back and looked at the video he shot. Like he just sat there filming the advocacy panel.
Right. So,
until a security guard approached him and asked him to leave.
Right.
And he was very polite about it. Matt did not show his ass.
I was
at
on
all.
the stage, so I had to proceed, obviously doing. But it did make me come down off the stage for a minute. But it was already done by that moment. And I've never done that before, right in the middle of an advocacy panel. But and I'll be honest with you, that pisses me off.
Right.
That this advocacy panel, which is very important to me, that's kind of what I do is bring attention to the advocates, get up there, act crazy, get people's attention, just so they'll listen to the message that a Jake Butcher from the VTA or David Gorlitz, whoever, all these advocates, what they have to say, this important information that I try to be the spinnerbait, if you will, to get the attention for the guys, so people, will lend them their ear and hear the message that they have to say. Because, no knock here on my friends that are advocates. I love you all, but you're not the most entertaining bunch. Okay, you have, so I have to.
Your comedy skills are lacking.
Right, I kind of help you get that attention for you guys. That then turn the microphone over to them so that they can give the message.
Right.
It really pisses me off that in the middle of that, of all things,
that's when that goes down.
That's when that goes down.
Right.
And I personally felt disrespected on that term, and I think that the advocacy as a general, that was not a good look.
No,
that was not a good move.
On a personal level, I'd been talking to Matt. Not a thing was said about the post about the Mama San e-liquid.
Did
Matt
he
was
post
not
it?
there?
I don't know.
I don't think he did, and I don't think he was even aware of it at that time.
Right.
He certainly is now.
Right.
But I don't think his behavior was the same Matt Elliott he is at every show. He was just hanging out, doing his thing, shopping, and and so he wasn't being a problem right then.
No.
And so it kind of made me go,
I'll be honest with you.
Why would you?
As far as I said, there was no reason for him to be kicked out. On that note, it is though Michael's his private event for him to decide. He can do that if he wants to. I will be honest with you, just like I told him, I advised him that was not a good idea. That he should not do that.
Yeah.
But that was his choice, and that's fine.
And that's the choice he made.
That's the choice he made. Right. Exactly. All right. Then what proceeded after that? Is it just blowing up and becoming something that just took all of the attention to all these people that are watching this go on Facebook or internet or what have you, that's what they see and that's what they think this whole show is about. Meanwhile, what happened in those four walls of that convention center was great. One of the top shows of the year.
Yeah,
it really was. And
a lot of good business done.
A lot of new vapors that came to vape convention for the very first time. Smokers that were there that had just converted or were learning about it.
Right.
Lots of business was done.
By companies who nobody can throw a stone at, who do it right, who have the right products, who donate to advocacy, who advocate themselves.
And I know firsthand, like I said earlier, we took personally the mission of the VSFA, and we took that upon us and really worked hard to bring some good to that. And I feel like we did, and I hate the fact that all of this took away from that.
Right.
And that this is the focus on it. And I mean, basically, I think concerning the Grand Slam and what. And I love that. I know those guys. I would tell
Right.
them firsthand. Go, yeah, you can't. That needs to be covered up or something.
I'll go.
I mean, it's not IP infringement, but you know what?
Yeah.
It's the FDA has said that is exactly no. You don't want to do that.
Right.
And I will tell them that to their face. And go, you know
Absolutely.
what? From now on, you do need to change that,
Right.
guys. But you know what? These things are transitioning over. I think that's something that if that's the case, I would honestly. This is where I think some of the wrong on the other end has done it as well. Is I think if that's the case and you feel that way, you know what? Come to me. Bring it to my attention. Bring it to someone else. Bring it to the show owners because I'm not part of the show. We're there with Vape Radio broadcasting live.
But we'll tell you who to go talk to.
We'll tell you who to go talk to
Right.
or talk to them about it for
We'll
you.
escort you over there,
Right.
sure.
And you know what? Instead of putting it on internet blast for the people that aren't vapors and the people outside of this community and the things that don't know what, that would love to, another reason
Right.
to attack us instead of putting it on, because I know it gets a lot of attention. Just like I posted this morning. That was by design. You know what? And I get that, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, if there's a problem with that, let's go to the show and go, hey, there's a problem. Can I get you to come with me and look at this and say, hey, I have a problem with this, and this company's their booth, and this is why. Explain it, and hopefully, I think in this case, if that could have happened, I think I would have hoped.
This could have all been nipped in the bud.
I know that if it was me that made the choice, I would have went over and went, hey, okay, the show can't go forward like this. You're going to need to either change this, cover this up, or if it was my call and it was my show, I would say, or you're welcome to leave and here's your money back.
Right.
It's you make that call
There
for
were
you.
There were other less damaging solutions, and the way my grandpa raised me, in a lot of ways, and my grandpa would have said, if he saw this scenario, because that's what the filter I put everything through is through my grandfather, and my grandfather would have seen this and been like, why don't they just go talk to each other like men,
Right. Yeah.
and just say, hey, what do you think about him? Blah, 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 blah,
Right.
blah. And have a conversation man to man, eye to eye.
Right.
Right.
Don't.
That's where it should start.
Exactly.
And you know what? That was illustrated further. Like, I'm a military guy, right? Like, I served in the military. You handle things at the lowest level possible.
Right.
If you got a problem with another private, you go talk to that private and y'all work that out.
Right.
The sergeant doesn't need to hear about that. And the colonel damn sure doesn't need to hear about that.
But if we need to take it that far, we will.
Right. But you be ready, because the sergeant may punish both of you.
And I would.
And if it goes all the way to the
understand
colonel,
that. Right.
somebody's ass is grass.
So I wish, I don't know who
Handle it
posted the
local.
picture. I wish that hadn't been done.
Right.
I wish that had been brought to someone's attention.
Right. It could have been done a better way.
beforehand. Right.
Right.
That could have been, and again, both sides. Love you guys. I have much respect
Right.
for you. But some things on both ends there were handled wrong.
Sure, sure.
Should Matt have been thrown out? No.
Absolutely not.
Should that have been addressed and not put on blast on the internet instead before it was mentioned and talked to and maybe been addressed so it could have been resolved beforehand when we're in the FDA's backyard,
Right.
when we're right there in tobacco country,
Right.
when all eyes are on this industry? Yes, I do think both of those things were
Right.
handled incorrectly.
Right.
But that being said, I've handled things
Right,
incorrectly.
because we need to work together.
Right.
Even if you don't have skin in that game. I'm not even at that show, but I saw something that I noticed in a post that a friend of mine made, and hey, somebody might want to go elbow them and say, hey man, hey Jake, you need to change that because that's not compliant. Like we can do that for each other in a consultative way.
Right.
Like I got you, bro. I'm helping you.
Right.
Kind of way rather than a demonize one another. But that's kind of where our society is these days
if
with
there-
social media.
You know what? I'm willing to offer myself up to. You know what? If I'm at a show and I'm emceeing a vape convention, if the owner of that show going forward from this day forward wants to have me walk around with them or what have you, and us look at each single booth and see that is this compliant, is this okay?
That's a
I
great-
would be more than
See?
happy to do that. Okay. I mean, and I'll be honest. I show up at a show focused on what I have to do there. And again, I was meeting with the vape, the Virginia vape. I can't even talk vape.
Virginia smoke free.
Yes. I'm just wound
Right.
up, dude.
But that's a great point. You talk about, like, let's have a...
I was tied up with those guys, but I would have more than happy. And I think they would have been happy as well for me to go, and I would have taken the time to do that, and we'll do that.
Sure. Now let's there you go. There's a creative solution to a problem. How about can we, as maybe a volunteer group of maybe vendors who are at each show or will do it or whoever, like let's kind of maybe do a walkthrough Friday night before the doors open to the public, and like everybody kind of address any issues that anybody has. Everybody go look at everybody's booths and kind of say, okay, like if they're, and that way maybe with multiple sets of eyes on it,
right?
Because sometimes
you don't even
won't
pick it up,
catch one
no.
thing and be like, Oh God, you know
No.
what? You're right. They didn't do
No,
this.
I'll be the first one to admit. I walked right into that venue with my luggage in my
And
hand.
didn't even notice it.
And walked right past through there, right to the stage.
Right.
My eyes did not even catch it, honestly, at all until it was put right in front of me.
Yeah, me either.
And now, again, that was not where my head, I was focused on what I had to do. And, but, I mean, maybe I need to take a step back and go,
Right. Well, you know what? I think that's a great idea. I mean, maybe other people have a way we can tweak that idea, put that into action.
Right.
I think that's a great idea.
We can run those things about Legion, whoever. But we've got to come to a way to make a resolution with this, as opposed to making this more drama and make this continue to be a thing. This kind of thing happening at any vape convention, at any vape anything needs to stop. We've got to figure out a way to go. All right, within what's going to happen? How are we going to address this as responsible adults and not turn it into a shit fest?
Absolutely. More vape fam love, less vape fam hate. We'll talk about more coming up. Vape Radio, vaperadio.com, and the free Android
Give us
app.
a call.
Warning.
Yeah.
This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Come hang with Vape Radio at Vapormania Expo.
All right, we are back on Vape Radio, vaperadio.com, the free Android app, all that good stuff. Continuing this conversation about over the weekend, and bear with us because we do have to take a break once in a while because we do got to pay the bills and we got to take a breath because we kind of get long-winded sometimes with this stuff, but it's worth being long-winded about.
Well, we need to get this resolved here and here today, right now. Let's do
Absolutely.
this. Let's have this discussion. Let's get these things
and maybe
sit
we
down
can find
so
some
we can
solutions.
move forward and fight the real battle that's being waged against us, which, like I said, was on CBS this morning.
Yeah.
Going against vaping this morning. Another they're busy. They're doing their due diligence. They're attacking us. Meanwhile, we're over here in a big circle jerk, pointing fingers at each other.
Right.
And it's really got to stop.
Right. Absolutely. Let's go to the phones. Hey, Vape Radio, who's this?
It's Matt Salter. Can you hear me?
Hey, what's up, Matt?
Hey, Matt.
Too much at all, guys. Just wanted to call in. I've been listening all morning, and I just wanted to call in and kind of clear up some of the things in the previous segment that you guys had said, just so the record's clean and everybody knows that the chain of events that kind of occurred before everything happened.
We welcome all parties to chime in on absolutely, man.
We're old and our memory may be foggy.
Absolutely.
Clear us up.
That's right.
Well, so I mean, the biggest thing is Legion did in fact reach out to Michael before anything kind of occurred.
It
was brought to our attention, and we decided to address it in the way of a conversation. And there is screenshotted proof from Facebook where Michael said, "Hey guys, and this was the night before Elliott got kicked out. He said, let me take a look at this. Let me have a conversation with them. Let me see what I can do about it."
Yeah.
So, we left it at that.
That's
was cool.
that is the first I'm hearing of that.
Yeah.
That is the first I'm hearing of that.
Me too. Good.
But that's good to know.
I can provide that screenshot to whomever needs it.
I totally take your word on it, man.
Yeah.
We don't always go off the handle. We're ruthless, but we're not. We don't just do that right off the bat. We try and be amicable about things and give people that opportunity. And 8:30 the next morning, we see Michael posting saying, any Legion member who steps foot into my convention will be escorted by police off the property. It was a complete 180 from, hey, let me take a look at this, to, if you come here, you're getting kicked out by a police officer.
All right. Okay. See, and that's where I picked up that morning, Saturday morning, when that post was being made, and that that's the first I've heard of that too. So, I agree. That is the way it should be handled. Right. I mean, and you know what? 2 years ago, Legion, sure, we probably would have just knocked the door in, but we've definitely grown since then, and especially when it comes in terms of conventions. And that was our biggest issue, was just they were so close to Altria. We know that there were FDA agents walking around, even if it wasn't in an unofficial capacity. That's and what about all the vendors that are there that have spent lots of money to be there to do it the right way? We don't want shade thrown on just by association, by being in a situation like that, because they came there to honestly do business, to be there for the vapors. Because that's one of the best things I love about doing these shows is the businesses are doing business, but meeting the vapors, the consumers that come out. This is their big, like these guys in Richmond, man. They were so excited and happy to have a vape show there, and for people to be there and see all the new things and to meet the people and do the things, and and those guys, man, that's those
who are so new that they're blissfully unaware that any of this even happens ever.
Right.
God, remember when you were an innocent young buck like that?
Right.
And that's and that takes that takes that vibe away from all that.
I saw that and I'll just be honest, and I love this person. I have major respect for his company and what they do. But the post did disappoint me, as from Rodney from Five Ponds. It was a picture of like how vape shows used to be, and going, it was the good old days and not the bad like they are now. And it was almost like throwing a little shade towards the show this weekend. And I understand that, but the thing I wanted to go is, you know what? I go to all these shows, and I don't mean this. I mean this with all due respect, Rodney. But when's the last show you've been at? There's still good things happening at these shows. There's still people being converted to over. There's still people that are, the advocacy is still alive and kicking. It was a fantastic advocacy panel Saturday. There's still vendors doing it right. There's still people coming to their very first vape show that are excited about it. You know what? The good old days, I get it. There were good old days, but also those good old days
weren't always so great.
That's back when bottles were being thrown in masses off the stage and
stripper poles.
And and the JJ juice on every corner of every aisle. The JJ juice e-liquid. Not literally. I would be going to a lot more conventions, but but you know what I mean. Like, there's still positives about where we are show wise in this community, and I think we emphasize so much on the negative, and I hate the fact that outshadows the positive that was done this weekend. And I totally have respect for you guys. I'm disappointed in just. Honestly, I'm just disappointed all the way around that this weekend went the way it did, and that's what the focus was on.
Absolutely. Before you respond, Matt, just anybody,
understandable.
Matt, hang on. Anybody who's calling in, we appreciate your call. We're kind of queuing you up on hold.
We'll get to you.
Right. So if you just hear the audio start coming to you, just hang loose.
Hang on.
Yeah. 888 Vape Fam. All right, Matt, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, what you guys did for, the Virginia Smoke Free Association was absolutely wonderful. And, that is the sad part. I knew absolutely nothing about that from this weekend, that even occurred. Right. And that should certainly be what that focus is.
Right.
And I think what Rodney is kind of hitting at is, nowadays convention throwers, it's not just, NVE, it's almost all of them now. They essentially are just so worried about filling the booths to turn that profit that they don't stop to think about. I mean, especially in the situation being so close to the FDA headquarters, like, how is this going to affect public perception when that's the biggest thing we're fighting right now?
Absolutely.
Vape Fam is great. I love going to conventions and seeing my friends in the industry. But the first thing we have to worry about is, what is the Mothers Against Vaping across America going to think about this?
Oh, yeah. I agree. I agree.
Having something that looks like a giant cereal box just isn't going to help.
No, and I totally agree on that. And like I said, if I had been made aware of it, I would have that would have been dealt, like, I would have, that's where it would have been like, okay, this has to be addressed, like, I mean, that's
well, Matt, what do you think about the idea of, like, a show having a pre-show review before the doors open, and put eyeballs on everything? What's the hold up on that?
There are people in this industry, and I will say including myself, that offer that service through a compliance company for conventions, for e-liquid manufacturers, period, to take a look at your branding or vet the labels that are coming into the convention to make sure they meet all compliance standards with all of the proper warnings and the layouts, in Prop 65 if you're in California or anything like that, before the show even takes place, before they even sell that booth. There is a convention, who I won't name, that actually pre-screens everything before they even accept money for that booth. This is something that has to be occurring, because at that point, if your warnings aren't proper, or you have a couple booths with no warnings on them, not only is the manufacturer going to get hit, the show promoter is going to get hit, and the venue can even be hit.
Right.
This is like really, really important stuff, and this just happened August 10th, that all these rules went into effect. And I'm sorry, I looked at most of the booths at NVE, and there were only 5 that were, like, compliant.
Now,
period.
Now, and this is something that I've got 2 different things on, because I've heard 2 different ways as far as, like, were you referring to, like, the warning labels on their booths, on their
on their trade show displays?
Well, the warning labels on the booth and the warning labels on the bottles.
Right. Now, I totally see the warning labels on the bottles. I was also told 2 different things. That yes, the booths needed it on there, but then I was also told by legal that they did not need it. That once they were entering the building, and it's on their ticket, they're willfully coming. Now, if that booth was taken out in public somewhere to say
Right,
a
if you
craft
set it on a
fair,
street corner.
yes, it has to have a warning. But if it's in a building that is a vape for a tobacco nicotine product, that they were okay with that. I'm not saying it is one or the other. I'm not sure.
Right,
I'm just saying I was told both of those explanations.
Right,
if somebody does know that, I would love to hear.
Right, that it kind of goes with if you walk into a bar that you have a reasonable expectation that alcohol may be present if you're allergic to alcohol or something.
You go into a sporting event and it says on the back of the ticket.
You may get hit by a foul ball.
Right.
Yeah. It's just to be expected, and therefore that it's kind of covered over the blanket of that private event.
You came into that private event and it was
But if you took
that
that onto a street corner or set that up out front of your supermarket, you would need warnings all over that.
Right. And I don't know which is right. I honestly don't. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I do.
And they do have until September 11th to get rid of the old bottles that don't have warnings.
Yeah, they still do.
They do have time. They have until September 11th.
Well, is that the vape shops though?
Well,
again,
I'd love to have some clarity on that.
Again, call us 1-888-VAPE-FAM.
There's two correct answers to the venue situation. So yes, while it's a private party where people are paying to attend, therefore it creates an adult setting. You are literally inviting the public. Anybody can walk in off the street, pay the fee, and walk in.
If they are an
first
adult.
Point on that.
Right.
The second point on that is if they can meet the ID requirements and they pay the money, they can walk in the door. The second portion is you have to ask yourself, is the venue 18 and over? Because all of the vape conventions I've ever been to, the front doors are absolutely wide open. So what's to stop a child from walking through the convention center with their parents? Say like Foxwoods, for instance. Maybe they're going to get some dinner, and they look inside of the convention hall, and they see, e-liquid that looks like a candy or cereal.
Well, if they want,
the kid's seeing that.
Right. And I understand your point with that, and I can see where that's bad. I don't know if I take my kid down Bourbon Street and he looks into a strip club, he may see something he shouldn't see as an adult. That's kind of on me not to walk him by there.
Right.
Just being honest, just trying to be logical here and think
you would make that analogy, wouldn't you?
But, I'm thinking like if it's on the ticket that you're going to this convention and it's going to have products that may or may contain nicotine and that is known to be addictive, and that's on that's on the thing, and you're purchasing it. You have to be of age to purchase this ticket to go through this front door, and you walk in knowing that up front. Is that warning enough that complies with the FDA? I don't know that. If you're listening, someone out there maybe that's legal or one of the advocates that could call in and tell us, make sure we have clarification on that would be great.
Right, and if we can't get to you immediately, just hold. But yeah, I'd love to know: is there a clear, defined regulation on that? And again, I don't think anybody in the industry, the good people in the industry, want clarity on those things. Please just tell us the rules.
And that's what I'm
we'll
hearing is there is unclarity. I've heard it both ways. I've heard people go, no, I know for a fact it's this way. And these are attorneys. I know for a fact it's this way. Another attorney goes, no, I know for a fact it's this way. Well, again, I'm no damn judge, thank God. I'm going, I don't know. Someone tell me, and I would be happy to make sure these vendors, to offer my services just like you, Matt, and go, you know what, I'll offer my services to do what I can do to see if I see it to call it out and go, this is unacceptable. But when you're stuck in a place of not knowing for sure and you're getting different feedback from different advocacy groups and people telling
I can
you
see where there
things,
is confusion.
There is.
Yeah.
At this point, it's really a matter of common sense. We know what the FDA is targeting. It's not... what the FDA is targeting isn't a gray area. It's black and white. We see that on May 1st.
Right.
It's more of a let's be safe than sorry, and let's paint vaping in the best possible light we can. We have billions of dollars against us, billions of different groups against us. What is the harm in putting a warning label on your product or on your booth?
Like me personally, I kind of lean towards I don't think the FDA would care if you have a warning inside of a vape convention on every booth. I do think that if it was me as a vendor, I would side on, like you said, on being
better safe than sorry,
and I would have it on mine regardless. I wouldn't care what the FDA stance on it. I would just have it.
It can't hurt.
Right. It can't hurt. Exactly.
Exactly.
But but on the same token, why does this happen? Why does companies that even teeter on this close of a border of an edge? And that always seems to be the people like you, Matt, like us that care so much about this industry. We always like, how can they do that? What is wrong with these people? And the simple answer is it's money. It literally is money, because the sad news is these consumers aren't supporting these companies for the most part that are doing it right. And that's a damn sad fact, because I can tell you major companies right now, major companies, that put out e-liquid right now that people think, oh, they're awesome. You know what? They're borderline in trouble because you know what? There is no loyalty for doing it right, unfortunately, besides a small group of us passionate vapors who really care. The mass majority will go and buy the worst thing. They're going to go buy what you tell them not to buy, like a kid. And I think that's the vapors' responsibility, the community, to not buy that shit too and not support it, because I think if that's the case, just like with a drug dealer, that business would dry up if it wasn't there.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. There are a lot of companies that have the perception within the industry that, oh yeah, they're huge, they're crushing it.
And they're not anymore. They're looking at closing doors because simply the fact that, you know what?
And these are companies, you know their names.
Big companies. That people would be shocked if I told them that. And the thing is no, they're doing it right. And nobody, vape-wise, besides a very small few of us, give a shit.
Right.
And that's sad. Right. So I understand that we've got to make that change. And that's going to make these businesses not even teeter on that. And I'm not justifying them doing it, but I'm saying this is there's two parts to this problem. Right. It's supply and demand too. Right. It's one thing to blame the drug dealer, but we got to do something about the drug addicts that want it too.
Right. And support the people who are doing it the right way.
We've got to support the people doing it the right way. We need to be talking about the positives of the people and supporting those things. You know what? I mean, I love you guys at Legion. I understand what you guys do. But Tristan, Matt, you I would love to also see, again, like your whitelist, y'all continuing to promote shops and people that are doing it right, you know what I mean? And get those consumers to really push and help those guys, because those are the companies that are going to be around in the long haul that do donate to advocacy and do things. And I can tell you a lot of them are getting wary of donating from advocacy. They're getting tired. They're getting run out of funds themselves. People go, want the manufacturers to do more. I deal with a lot of them. A lot of them are starting to run out of money. The market's got so saturated with e-liquid companies and that they're running out of money because there's no masses able to, they're not supporting them doing it right. And if we don't support the companies doing it right, guess what? You're going to have more and more companies doing it fucking wrong, and we're all going to wonder why they're doing it. Right. Well, that's why they're doing it, because of the fucking money.
Right. Because nobody would support them when they did it right. Yep. And they're going to go, well, I got to pay my mortgage. I got to feed my kids.
It's easy for me to sit up here on Monday morning and tell you what Derek Carr didn't do right in his game yesterday, when it's a different story for me to get off my ass and go down there and fucking help coach the goddamn team or buy a fucking ticket and support the organization.
Go try out for the Raiders.
Right, exactly. And I think we need to do that as a community, all of us, every single one of us, that, you know what, we've got to really focus on supporting the companies that are doing it right, or they're not going to be there. And all we're going to be left is with these people that just want a money grab. Yeah. Or big tobacco.
Matt, you there?
I scared him off.
I don't think you scared him off.
No, there you go. Okay. Say, damn.
Right, I was just enjoying the passion, my man.
He's like, preach, motherfucker, preach.
I love it.
I mean, when you start making the Rodman act like a grown-ass adult, this is a sad damn day, guys.
Shit's gone off the rails, y'all.
You broke me. But it's true.
Not going to lie, I kind of dig it.
It's the truth, guys. It really is. Because, I mean, I talk and have conversations with a lot of these companies that many of the like I said, Joe Vapor is not going to ever know. And I know the guys that are doing it right, like Five Ponds, doing it fantastic. They're not one of those companies that, that are doing it wrong. Support those guys, man. Get out there and support those guys. Support these companies that are doing it right.
And I don't mean support them because I see a lot of that in this industry too. No, we support
I'll make
them.
A post.
We support them.
Fucking product.
We support them. We support them. Like, how about buy a bottle? Yeah. How about pick it up and carry it in your shop?
Yeah.
How about, and don't put it on the bottom rung.
Tell the vape shop you go to that, you know what, that's what I want to buy. I don't need the latest, greatest hype juice. No, I need somebody that's donating for advocacy. I don't need to know how great their customer service is. Right. No, I want somebody that actually gives a shit. You know what, even the people that just want to make money and don't care about advocacy in this industry, they have great customer service too. Mm-hmm. That really doesn't impress me. What impresses me is, what are you doing for this industry? And those companies that are doing things and doing things the right way need to be supported. It's easy for us to sit here and talk about these companies that are doing it wrong, but you know what we just did for the company doing it wrong this weekend? We just made them fucking sell out of bottles.
Yeah. FYI.
Yeah.
That company.
That's so
sold out,
and that's a damn shame. Not for them, but I'm just saying in general we've got to change that mentality of us as a group and a community of vapors. And I think, again, this weekend, a lot of those things could have been handled differently, and I wish they would have. So.
All right, Matt, you got anything in closing?
I don't. You guys hit the nail on the head. It's time to lift up those who are doing the right thing, and it's time to do our best to get rid of the bad actors. That's just the God honest truth. You know, we're fighting for everybody's right to convert to a healthier alternative.
Right.
There's no room in this industry for greed any longer.
There you go.
No.
All right, brother.
Thank
well,
you so
hey,
much
hey,
for
if anybody
calling.
wants to reach out to you, how can they? What's the best way to reach you?
Yeah,
Facebook?
maybe
or?
it's a manufacturer would like you to take a look at their branding and marketing.
They can hit me up on Facebook. My Facebook is public and wide open. Anybody can contact me at any time.
There you go. All right, Matthew Salter. Thank you so much,
Good
sir.
job. Thank you, buddy.
Not a problem, guys. Have a great
All
day.
right, talk to you soon.
It's true, man.
All right, let's take some of these other calls here. Hi, Vape Radio.
Hello. So you want to let me defend myself now?
Hey, absolutely, Mr. Michael Wittenberg.
hey.
Brother, we love you. Well, of course, we're going to give you your time.
Well, it doesn't. Truthfully, it doesn't fucking sound that way. To be honest with you.
That,
Well, I'm sorry,
Brother,
I
we
didn't
love
know.
you.
We love you. I said we let off
Yeah.
of that. That's exactly what
This
we
is
said.
a bad situation.
This has just been bad and handled
Okay,
badly.
because after you stroked Matt for the last fucking half hour. That's
Well, no, because
that's kinda
exactly
what
there was
happened.
we didn't stroke him.
Nobody told the story. Okay, first of all, you and I know before the advocacy panel, it was the rumors were going around that his little buddy Matt Elliott were going to start all this bullshit at the end with each and every one of the advocacy members. Okay, number one. Number two, you also knew that on Friday evening, I was approached with the Grand Slam thing. I consulted 2 attorneys that were there and 3 advocacy groups, of which all told me that if I did kick them out, I was facing a breach of contract lawsuit. Okay, and that they weren't in IP infringement. I agree.
Yes,
that
you did tell us
bad
that.
taste. As you know, I say it was in bad taste. I always admitted that, and I will have a conversation with Ryan after the show.
There you go.
But what they did was make a fucking mockery out of a successful show and turn it into an online circus of which they could start bullying.
And that's what we're mad about. Exactly.
And
Altogether.
you're absolutely
that a
right.
circus has occurred instead of the focus being on the Virginia Smoke-Free
Exactly.
Association.
This should have ended with them contacting you,
But-
you contacting
but
your.
you-
Hang on,
you-
let me finish. You contacting your attorney, and then you saying, "Okay, you know what? I'm going to take this up with that company. I can't do it now because I'm in breach of contract or whatever. But okay, we're going to take this out when this isn't going to happen again."
Right.
What happened after that
So
is
why-
where it got out of
why-
hand.
So let me ask you this.
Right.
So let me ask you this: why did the exact opposite just happen with on the phone with you and Matt Salter?
Well, Matt Salter wasn't there. He was just stating
Right.
his opinion
Right.
on it, and his opinion. He said he contacted you that Friday night. He said they contacted you that Friday night, and that's the part I wasn't aware of. I did come in Saturday
yeah,
morning.
we thought it was Saturday.
And I told him.
Right.
And I told him exactly what I just told you and everybody else on the air, that I consulted with lawyers, I consulted with advocacy groups after that.
Who were
and
the?
I had no choice
Just for the record, who were the advocacy groups so we know, so we can get clarification from them as to why they were saying that and what because maybe they were right. Maybe we need to know that. I mean,
Right.
I'm not the epitome of wisdom.
I had Greg and I had the other attorney that was on the advocacy panel consulted. I also had the VSFA consulted about it, and every single one of them told me that I had no right to throw them out. Is it done in bad taste? Absolutely. But could I throw them out? Absolutely not. So what do you want me to do?
Exactly.
But
Okay,
you're on
I
the
agree.
phone, Matt Salter, saying that I shouldn't have kicked Matt out and that I shouldn't have kicked and that I should have had Mama-san removed. There's no business sense there.
I absolutely agree that in the business end of things, you probably shouldn't have kicked them out of that show that day. However, the situation with Matt, I don't know that I would have made that move.
No,
You know,
I told you that.
Let me ask you a question.
I told you that day. I didn't think that was the wise decision to make, and I
Right,
love
let me
you.
ask
I
you
love
why.
you, Michael. But I did
Why?
tell you, and I said, and I told you why.
So I should have.
No, because I didn't see what he didn't make. Did he make that post? No, I don't. I mean, unless there's some. But do you have the right to do that? Yes, you do.
Wait, stop. Who took the pictures? Right? Who started stirring the whole fucking pot? Not only that, who did I find out from multiple individuals that at the end of the advocacy panel, Matt was going to personally attack each advocacy member? Who did that?
I don't know.
Okay, because I heard it. Okay.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that
Matt,
right after it
wants
was
to be-
kicked out. Yeah.
Right. So Matt saw, and not to mention that Matt has been escorted out 3 previous times for starting fights and creating drama at 3 previous NVE events. of which I have, tons of footage and whatnot also.
Well,
So
I can't even. Well, I mean, I can't even comment on that. I have to take your word for it and go. I don't know that anything. I've never, as far as any other previous events. All I can speak to as this one that I was at,
right?
And that I didn't see what he was doing to actually deserve to be kicked out. But at the end of the day, just like I said this earlier, that is your call to make. That is your private event. And just like if I have a private party at my house, and if I just don't like this guy that maybe he used to bang my ex-girlfriend, and I don't want that guy in my house.
Right.
You know what I mean? You totally have that right. I don't deny that one bit whatsoever.
And the thing is, it's really it's like you say, it's the circus that everything became when the focus should have been on the positive of what we did for Virginia Smoke Free.
So let me ask you a question. Who started the circus? Should I at least get that out of you?
Absolutely. It started online. Yeah.
Okay, by who?
I don't know who the first one was.
Right.
Yeah, it was well underway and had hundreds and hundreds of. I was busy all day Saturday. By the time I got done Saturday and looked at it, there was thousands of comments there.
Right. Exactly. So I don't know who exactly was.
By what group started the circus?
Well, I would say that maybe the Legion had the ones as far as that fired the first shot regarding the warning labels and the product. I mean.
No. Let's move on to the second question. Okay, when I posted yesterday or last night about raising $20,000 for the Virginia Smoke Free, because that's what we do as an organization, as a show. Right. Okay, who commented on that, trying to blast it further? That I had to delete. I've been deleting posting comments for the last 3 fucking days.
Well, and that's part of the problem is that.
So who did that?
Right. Well, now here's the thing. Because all right.
No idea.
Well, let me put it to you this way. All right, because I am not a member of the Legion, right? The convicted vapes group or whatever. Right. I don't know what that application process is, but I haven't done it. So I don't know who's in it or who's not in it. But when I see that on social media, I know Tristan names, and Matthew Elliott, but I don't know all these people, but I see some people making very valid, sensible comments, and then I see people making comments that I go, holy shit, is this what humanity has fallen to? That we go this ugly and this, these type of horrible statements, over this?
Turn into that.
But whether or not they're in the Legion or not, I don't know. I don't know who those people are. They're just random people on social media.
Like the warning labels. Do you know the answer? About the warning labels, is that something that you thought about? That because I don't know the answer. I honestly don't. Is the warning labels? I mean,
I do know the answer to that. The product that was manufactured prior to the 15th. Okay, did not have to have it, regardless of whether it was being sold at the show or not.
And that's for manufacturers, not just vape shops, right?
Right. So the product that was manufactured after the 15th, they had to have the labels, in which they did. With that being said, let me ask you this. If the Legion didn't post what they posted, okay, and attacked, first of all, let me ask you this. What has the Legion positively done for this business? Because every time I see them involved, it's always about drama and who they hate and who's destroying this business, not who's making this better. Like Greg Troutman, who fought an Indiana lawsuit, who he bleeds for this business every day.
I understand. I agree.
Who they personally attacked all weekend.
I think it's like having two friends of yours get into a fucking shit fest with each other, and you don't want them to fight. Right. Period.
It's not.
It's not. And it degenerated into a pissing contest that really wasn't about even the topic at hand.
Exactly. And honestly, this should have been between them and
Mama
and the manufacturer. It should have been between them.
So let me ask you a question. We hung out all night, right? Primarily all weekend. You, me, and the crew hung out all weekend, right? Okay, with that being said, on Friday night, okay, before all this shit blew, came to fruition, was I producing a successful event?
Absolutely.
No, and you know what? I do not want that to be misconstrued in this. This was a highly successful event. This is one of the better shows of the entire year, actually, and it's a shame for people outside of this show, I said earlier, to be saying that this is the focus and giving this show a bad light because it was not a bad show. This
was
is
a good show.
Businesses
So
did
with
lots
that
of
being
business.
said,
But could it have been handled better?
Was there consumers
Could it
there?
have been
Were
handled
there
better?
vendors there? Were there-
Right, but what can we learn going forward and making this even better than what it was? Because obviously there was a problem, okay? And instead of it turning into a pissing contest, let's come together, find out what do we need to do to make sure this never happens again,
right,
and go forward and do it right. Let's resolve it. Let's get it fixed. Let's all of us, because I think there was right and wrong on both sides. Honestly,
Absolutely.
dude.
I think that first and foremost, the beef should have been anybody who had a problem, go to that manufacturer, because Michael Wittenberg doesn't own that e-liquid company. He can't change their stuff. They need to be contacted about that.
But what about the warning labels on the booth, though? That's what I was asking about. It wasn't necessarily the bottles. It was on the booths.
I mean, just their branding in general.
Right.
You know, like, go attack that manufacturer. You know, I don't understand why
Pablo,
that became a Michael issue, and it got thrown on him, you know.
Let me interrupt you for a second, Pablo.
Yes.
First of all, I vet all my vendors extremely well. Ryan has been with me for years now from Mama San. Okay, I called him up on Friday night, and I told him what my concerns were. After the Legion already made a fucking stink about the whole situation. Okay, I told him what my concerns were. Right. After that phone call, after I was threatened for a breach of contract lawsuit, I consulted my attorneys and the advocacy partners that I have, including the Virginia Smoke Free Association. I had no fucking choice. They had the choice whether or not to blow it out of proportion, which they absolutely did, and bring their bunch of online, keyboard terrorists in and start all this shit and personally attack people that do good for this industry and only good and never create drama, which obviously the Legion, that's all they do.
I understand, and I understand you feeling that your show was being attacked. I totally feel you. I get
Absolutely.
you. I understand that and your need, and you feel that you're being attacked, so you want to defend and yourself, and that's where again,
that's completely normal.
That's completely normal.
Now here's my question: is there a way that going forward, could you change things to where, like, okay, everybody's got to pre-submit photos of what their booth is going to look like a couple of weeks out, so that way, if before they are officially accepted to where that contract has officially been signed, where that way you can reject them before there's a contract if need be. Can we do something like that? I think that would be helpful.
And I do it. I do it all the time. But again, you have a company like the Mama San, okay, who's been with me for 3 years, who comes with the same booth for the past 2.5 years, okay? It was just as much as a surprise to me as it was you. The first thing I walked up to both of you and said, is it done in bad taste? Absolutely. Did I not?
Right. Yes,
you did. Absolutely,
yes,
you did.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
You were not happy about it. No.
Did I also immediately call Greg and the other attorneys up with the VSFA and ask them their opinions?
Yes, and God knows, Greg Troutman, a great legal mind. What he has done in Indiana, man, and I love the guy. And he gave you his legal advice at being a lawyer. Was it IP infringing? And no, it is not IP infringing. Okay, I think we
right.
But
legally, it's one thing.
That's what he's going to give you being a lawyer.
Public perception is another.
Right now, if when you gets to what the FDA is going after as far as not IP infringing, but just simply for the fact of it's the way it's marketed could be appealing to children, yada yada yada. That tends to be more of the issue than was it IP infringing. And I don't think Greg, was not arguing that point. That wasn't the issue. He was just saying no, from an IP infringement, from a legal standpoint. It is not IP infringing because of this, and this. And I think he was right and totally legal and totally correct in saying that.
And the following question to Greg, the VSFA, and the other attorney that was there, I can't remember his name, Sundberg, okay, was should I have them removed? Their response, every single one of them, was you have no legal course to take them removed. They could sue me for breach of contract. They could sue me for this. They could sue me for that. It's not the X amount of dollars they paid for their booth. It's about,
I think going forward, you need to have in your contracts that, you know what, on day of show, if your setup does not meet qualifications for this show, you will be expelled from this show if you cannot correct that. If your contract doesn't have that in it, it needs to going forward.
And that if your booth does not match what you sent 2-3 weeks out,
that way you're not held accountable and responsible for things in your show that reflect on you that you have no decision over.
Right.
And I would personally send you my application that says exactly that. But when somebody shows up with something that's done in bad taste, okay, and questionable, they set up, I have no legal right to throw them out. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't like what it said. I don't like the message it pervades. I don't like the whole thing. But I have no legal right, according to my contract, according to the FDA who was at the show and didn't write any citations, and according to everybody else that was there, I had no right to throw them out. Am I going to have a conversation with Ryan from Mamathon to tell him that I don't want that at the show moving forward? Absolutely. But it does not take away the mistake that the Legion wanted to make by being terrorists instead of confronting me to my face.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I can. Okay. We got. I can't argue with that.
I have to agree because some people, like I say, I don't know if they're Legion or not, but some people make very logical, salient points, and some people go to the gutter immediately.
Right.
And I think that's reflective on our society, and it's sad, that everything has to go to DEFCON 1 level fighting immediately.
Yeah, I learned to stop doing that on my second divorce.
Right.
It doesn't help.
Right. That only makes things worse.
Not once has my ex-wife ever went, you know what? You're right.
Right.
It never happens.
Right. All right.
It goes there.
All right, Michael, we got to take a break. Can you hang for a few minutes?
Yeah, hang out for us for a few minutes, buddy.
Sure.
All right, hang online. We'll be right back with more of this on Vape Radio.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Have you tried Mama's Kitchen e-liquids yet? This multi-award-winning company with delicious dessert flavors like Nana Nut Swirl, Blueberry Cheesecake, and Coconut Cream Pie, you'll remember only the best things come from Mama's Kitchen. Handcrafted for true-to-label flavor and an ISO 9001-2015 certified company with same-day shipping on most orders. Check out your local shop or visit them at mamaseliquid.com. Only the best things come from Mama's Kitchen. mamaseliquid.com.
Well, hello, Betty. Bouncing Betty is now available nationwide with a fresh new look and co-packed by the legendary Cyclops Vapor. This nationwide invasion now includes all 6 amazing 120 ml flavors: exotic fruit, candy, sour, ice, slushy, and cream. Order today at nostalgichwholesale.com and use code VAPE Radio and save $1 per bottle with no MOQ.
Stop dreaming about me, boys. You can pick me up at nostalgichwholesale.com.
All these e-juice companies huffing their chest about how their juice is the best, but yet they can't deliver. You need to sit down. Get humble. Humble Juice Company. HumbleJuiceCo.com. Delivering you the flavor you expect, but not bragging about it. Donkey Kong is strawberry, banana, and a splash of dragon fruit smoothie. The top seller. Smash Mouth is an award-winning strawberry cheesecake custard. If you're a Nick Salt fan, Humble Salt's Grapefruit Peach is a 50-milligram salt Nick with grapefruit and peach so on point you won't ever want to set it down. And if those flavors don't do it for you, check out the over 60 flavors Humble Juice Company has available and find your flavor. Humble Juice Company. HumbleJuiceCo.com.
Koi CBD is the #1 selling CBD in the world. Here's why. It's 100% natural CBD manufactured in an ISO-certified lab and contains 0 THC, keeping your shop totally legal. They use only the highest quality ingredients available, resulting in maximum effectiveness and tasty flavors like blue raspberry dragon fruit, watermelon sour apple, strawberry milkshake. Koi even comes flavorless, so you can mix with your favorite vape or use under the tongue. Koi CBD also comes in gummies, pet treats, and more. Find them all at koicbd.com. Koi. Lab tested for purity, consistency, and safety with no THC. See the full lab results and get all the flavors and benefits of Koi.
And sweet sweet deals for your shop, too.
At KoiCBD.com.
Need a new all-day vape? Maybe the newest piece of hardware. Need DIY supplies? No matter what you're looking for, eLiquid.com has the largest selection of in-stock e-liquid hardware, replacement coils, DIY supplies, and more. With our selection of more than 12,000 brands and over 44,000 products in-house, your favorite e-liquid hardware and vape gear is in stock. Use our rewards program and cash in those points for additional savings. eLiquid.com is your one-stop shop for all of your vaping needs and ships fast and free with no minimum required.
Terms and conditions apply. Refer to our site to see if you're eligible for free shipping.
eLiquid.com. Vape simplified.
If you vape, then you're probably always on the lookout for an e-liquid with a satisfying flavor, something you can vape all day long. Since we launched Cyclops Vapor in 2013 here in Southern Alabama, that's what we have produced. A line of e-liquid featuring unrivaled flavors. Visit CyclopsVapor.com and use our store locator to find a vape shop near you to sample these legendary e-liquids. Cyclops Vapor, man created it. Cyclops perfected it.
The following segment of Vape Radio is brought to you in part by
Rondo the Thirst Mutilator. It's like a monster truck you can pour into your face.
That is true. That is true. Hey, Vape Radio, we're back. Pablo and the Rodman on a titillating Tuesday. Sorry we're not playing, Motley Crue songs for you as much this morning.
No, and I'm really pissed about that, too.
Right. We should be playing Motley Crue and talking about VSFA
and it is.
How much we raised. And
this shit pisses me off all the way around.
Right. We should be talking about the positive things that came out of this weekend. Right. We should be talking about the great advocacy work. We should be talking about those first-time people this is their first vape show they ever came to, and they had a blast. They had a great time.
Lots of vendors did amazing business, sold out of everything this weekend. I mean, lots of great happened there.
Right. But we're stuck talking about the drama.
But we're going to get it resolved today.
That's right. That's right. So, again, giving everybody a voice, giving everybody, their fair time to state their case, And if you want to chime in, 888-VAPE-FAM, the phone lines are jammed right this second. So if you can't get through, just keep trying.
Hold on and we'll get to you.
Right. If you hear the voices come in, that means you're on hold, so just hang loose.
Just hold on.
And we'll get there. We'll get there. Anyway, back to Michael Wittenberg from National Vape Expo. Michael, you still there?
So I know firsthand that the Legion tough guys are listening right now. So if anyone, including Matt Salter, Tristan Thompson, or Matt Elliott, wants to come in here and actually have a civil debate and not hide behind the keyboard, I invite them also.
Matthew Elliott is holding, I believe.
Now,
so yeah. All right, here we go. Hang on, Michael. Hang on. All right, and push that button. Matthew, are you there?
Ask and you shall receive.
Yes, I am.
All right, Matthew Elliott. You made the trip down. You came to the show. You got kicked out. Tell your side.
All right. So I did a live feed speaking my piece before, but I'm going to reiterate it on here. So the company I work for was not able to make it down to Richmond, Virginia. However, I've been working very closely with a shop local to me by the name of Juicebox Vape Shop. And I told the owner I was going to go down and try to pick up some lines for him, bring him some samples to get, some of the not-so-appealing labels off his shelf replaced with good companies that are doing it right, like you said prior. So me and three of my friends made the trip. We left at 3 o'clock in the morning, drove down to be there by 10 in the morning to make it. We each paid the business-to-business fee, so I am a paying customer, so are my friends, to get in. And it was a great time. We walked around, we saw some booths. Me and my friends dropped a little too much money, probably. I believe we were around $2,500 between the four of us. Bought mods, bought juice, talked to some great vendors, saw you guys. It was a great time. So around the time that me and my friend Kevin were talking to, I can't remember his name. He was over at the HD&E booth, and we were talking about his juice line. I heard the announcement that the advocacy panel is going to start. So, as everyone knows, I go straight up to the advocacy panel.
Right, as you always do.
Let me backtrack a little bit, because I am a little shaky right now.
No, I totally understand, man. And you always do that. You always are right at the front row of. Even before I knew you, I knew of you, and you were always. I always recognized you as being one of the people that were up front, advocacy panel, filming it at whatever show it was.
So now, the whole thing with the Mama-san, obviously I am a member and admin of the Vaping Legion. I'm also on the panel for the Vaping Legion Network.
Right.
So the post that was made was done by a picture that was taken on Friday. Now, like I said, I left at 7 o'clock. I left at 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday night to go down.
So you did not take that picture?
I did not take that picture.
Okay.
No, I did not. Actually, the picture in question
where did it come
by
from?
someone. I can find that. Guaranteed some of the guys can find that. But it was actually, I believe, a picture of the koi booth, possibly?
Actually, I believe I know what you're talking about. I think it was meant to originally be a picture of the Pinnacle booth, and that you could see the Mama-san thing in the background.
Okay.
And that's where somebody
Okay.
caught it. I
Okay.
think I saw somebody say that. I could be wrong. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I believe that is actually accurate. So, yes, I actually just got a message. Pinnacle took it at their makeshift booth. So the Mama-san was in the background. So naturally that got posted, and because it was really interesting because Michael Wittenberg made a post earlier in the season around March about how he's going to make sure that no child-appealing labels are going to be in NVE. Right. So, of course, we all know how that goes. Everyone jumped on it and was, going, what's up with this? And the post was made, and Michael did respond and said he would look into it.
Okay.
Now, the next morning, Tristan woke up to a message in his inbox that said all Legion members would be booted and removed by police if they caused drama. And then he made a Facebook post stating the same thing.
Okay.
And then there was a whole debacle on the comments, back and forth, personally attacking Tristan, Tristan responding.
Right.
It just turned into a whole shit show.
Right.
So back to, and, I knew going in there that there would be something. There's always something.
And why do you feel that way? Why did you feel that way? It's on it, and honestly, why did you feel that way? Just because?
Because Michael Wittenberg had an issue with the Legion for a while, and especially with that post. Now, I went down there wearing my Legion shirt because I'm a proud member and a proud admin of the Vaping Legion. I don't hide that. I mean, I'm actually getting it tattooed on my arm in September. I didn't bring a change of clothes that I was going to change into. I wasn't trying to hide.
Right.
I wore a vest over my shirt because it had extra pockets for my mods and my juice, etc. But I kept it mostly closed just because I didn't want to deal with the hassle.
Right.
Now, back to the advocacy portion. Now, this is the only time that I was by myself. And what I mean by myself, meaning I wasn't directly near people that I knew.
Right.
Because the whole other time I was walking around with my 3 friends, or 2 friends would go one way, me and my other friend would go the other way. I was never alone.
Mm-hmm.
So there is people everywhere who can account for my whereabouts and my actions the entire time at that expo.
Yeah, okay.
So when I went by myself to the advocacy panel, which I always do, like we all said, I was directly confronted by Mr. Wittenberg. And, he asked me, so what's the big deal? What's going on with the whole Mama-san? Why are you guys causing problems, this, that, the third? And I said, me? I just got here at 10 in the morning. I don't know who took the pictures, because you said I took pictures. I said, I don't know who took the pictures.
Right. And now we know that wasn't you. That was from the Pinnacle booth, actually, from that picture I've been advised someone sent. So, yes, that was from the Pinnacle CBD line booth, where they were just, it wasn't even about that booth that was in question. It was a picture of their booth.
It was in the background.
Shipping stuff it got, and they were setting up. Right. It was their setup picture, and that was in the background of it, and someone zoomed in on it. So, okay, go ahead.
So, as Michael Wittenberg approaches me and is, basically berating me about the Legion, I'm not going to cause a scene. I'm not going to, start something. It's a bad look on the Legion, and it's a bad look on vapors in general. So I kind of, just let him talk and talk for a little bit, and then I got a little annoyed So I said, really? The Vaping Legion doesn't do anything? Because he said all we do are bully, all we do is instigate, we just cause problems, we've never done anything for advocacy, we've never done anything. And I know that's not true. Almost everyone listening knows that's not true. So I said, really, the Vaping Legion doesn't do anything, really. We've never done drives for advocacy, we've never supported advocacy groups. And he says, well, I've donated between them. I'm like, I know you do. I've never taken that away from you.
He does a lot
just
for
like
advocacy.
You said, the main
Absolutely.
focus of this whole after convention show should be about the good that was done. And I want to personally apologize. I did not realize the good that was done from this because I was so heated. I was so caught up in this injustice, unfair BS that happened.
Right.
And to you guys and to the Virginia Smoke-Free Association and everyone who's contributed to the advocacy, that is my apologies to you directly.
Hey, that is apology accepted. I understand.
So he keeps going, and like I said, really, we've never done anything. And then he's like, no, you don't do anything, and he got frustrated and walked away. And I thought, okay, whatever, that's done.
Okay.
So the advocacy panel starts, and I do what I always do. Every show I've ever been to, I start live feeding the advocacy panel because there are people that can't make the show.
Sure.
I like having a recollection of the advocacy panel in general, because you never know when you need to look something up real quick or you want to talk to someone and be like, hey, well, this state's doing this. I want to show you this, just for record.
Sure.
And
a lot
again,
of people do that.
People who can't make the show, who can hear the actual good that's being done by the
and I appreciate that. Every advocacy panel I do, there's people with live streaming it, and I fully love that, support it, and hope that continues. So go ahead.
So during the show, I am filming it, and then I get a tap on my back, and I turn around, and a gentleman in a light blue shirt asks if he can pull me aside. So absolutely, and he introduces himself. I can't recollect the name right off the top of my head. I can look that up. And I say, hi, how are you? He's like, okay, so the head of the event would like you to leave. And I very calmly stated, well, am I under arrest? No. Am I being charged with anything? Unofficially, no.
Okay.
Okay, so what grounds, does he want me removed? He says you're being disruptive. He doesn't want you here. I said, yeah, but I'm a paying customer. My friends are paying customers. We've been here. I've done nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, that may be, but, the event head wants you to leave. And I said, okay, well, can I have proof of anything that I've done? And the head of security and the police officer told me, we do not have any proof. We do not have any proof that you have done anything.
Okay.
But it is a private event, so he
Right.
would like you to leave. Okay. I didn't argue at that point. It is a private event. Fine. So I left. Now, as I was walking away, I did mention to a couple of people that I knew, hey, I'm being escorted out of here. I've done nothing. Please contact Tristan.
Okay.
Because we have the right to know right away if one of our members is in any type of trouble.
Right. Well, you're a representative of that group, so I understand that. That makes sense. Yeah, let me ask you a question, and seriously, I want a straight up, honest friend-to-friend opinion on this, or statement on this, answer on this. Did you or did you not say at any time, even if it was just in jest, even if it was just pissed off or whatever, did you say that, hey, you know what, I'm going to cause a disruption between that while the advocates are speaking, or I'm going to do anything that's going to? Did you even just in jest, just being pissed off, just mention that with no real intention of doing it, or even intention, whatever? Did you ever say that? Because I know Michael has said that that was. That's what was being said, basically, is that you were there, that you were going to cause, that you had made that statement that you were going to do something. So did you even in jest say that? And straight up, just honest, if you did.
No, I did not.
Okay.
No, I did not. The only thing was I did mention to someone, I can't remember who it was, almost a back of my mind thought that the one thing I did want to address, because there's always a question and answer, with the advocates, was I was going to ask the official stance on labeling, because there are so many answers out there that no one has an actual straightforward answer.
Kind of what we were talking about earlier.
I mean, mind you, for the guy, I'm up on the stage doing the advocacy panel, and I don't have a clear answer on that. I hear from very respected individuals 2 different stories.
So you hope to speak to the advocates for clarification.
Yes, and I wasn't going to cause a scene, and even if I,
you were going to ask a question,
to say anything or not, I wasn't 100% decided in my head. But that wasn't going to be causing a scene. That wasn't going to be causing any drama.
You're just going to be asking a question that you want to address.
The message, correct, and because the post and the message that Mr. Wittenberg made and private messaged Tristan was any Legion members causing drama will be removed by the police. I did not cause any drama, and I challenge anyone with video evidence showing that I caused drama there.
Gotcha.
Now,
all right,
I do want
Matt.
to fast forward a little bit.
Hang on, Matt. Can you hold there?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Hold the line. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. We're gonna let you finish what you want to say. We're gonna allow Michael Wittenberg to retort. So fair time for everybody.
And I would like to get some clarification on these questions that we
Right.
have on the legal end of, because again, I've been told by 2 different well-respected individuals that should know, and I'm even confused on it.
Exactly.
So I would like I said, I want to get this resolved going forward, so we don't have this kind of shit fest on any of our plates for NVE, for Legion, for Vape Radio, for anybody that's involved in any shows going forward for us as an industry.
So that we can have clarification and focus on the positive going forward. We'll be right back. Vape Radio.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
For more vape news, visit vapenewsmagazine.com and keep it here on Vape Radio.
We are back on Vape Radio, vaperadio.com, and the free Android app. Thank you for tuning in, listening to the family drama.
No, we're at the kitchen table.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get this resolved because we need to make this industry better.
Damn
and
right.
These things, that's one of the things that hopefully we can afford is honest discussion on things instead of it, turning into nothing but memes and
screaming matches,
and things like that, and devolving into
F words.
Right. So
let's use F words for fun. Damn it.
I typically only do. So, but today I'm fucking pissed. So
yeah. So all right, let's go back to Matt Elliott. Matt, we were up to you were being escorted out of the building, and go.
Yeah, so I was escorted out of the building, and I waited, and my friends who did all come with me, they came out with me because even though they were not forced to be removed, they were not going to leave me outside while they were inside the rest of the day. I mean, this was
Sure.
only about 3-4 hours into the actual expo. So we left, and I did do my live feed explaining exactly what happened because I was seeing posts from Michael Wittenberg videotaping and filming, videotaping and taking pictures of me being talked to by security, and made this whole big thing about drama gets removed. Well, once again, I did not cause any drama. This was the part that was very confusing to me. So I made my live feed explaining exactly what happened from, my side, because there are always 2 sides. And then, throughout the day, it was kind of progressing back and forth. And then one thing very interesting happened. A friend of mine as well, I should say a brother in the cause, contacted Mr. Wittenberg and, was asking, hey, what the hell happened? Why did you throw out my friend?
Right.
And Mr. Wittenberg made a couple of statements saying I was causing problems, I was harassing people, and that I've been thrown out of multiple expos before. He also stated this again today. I would like to make something known on record. I have never been thrown out of any, I repeat, any Vape Expo until the one that just passed.
Okay.
I have never been thrown out. I've never been escorted out. The only thing that did happen at one expo, 2 expos, that one I was directly involved in. It was one of my first NVE expos, and I took a video of all the Team Free shit throwing out into the crowd and how loud the music was, because the booth that I was working at, you had to literally yell to the customer in their ear for them to hear you. and the customers were not going to the booths because they were getting all the free shit from the stage.
Right.
Now, there were conversations after that happened between me and Mr. Wittenberg at that event, and he was on the Vaping Legion Network show for that, along with Joey Jux, which turned into a complete shit show. But then after that, I was even welcomed back to the next expo, and the next expo, and the next expo, because I was working with Strong Island Vapes for those.
Okay.
And so even my boss turned to him and said, you know, he's never been thrown out of any expo. He represents my company well, and I don't know what you're talking about, and Strong Island Vapes will never be part of another NVE event. Now, I also want to address something else. And this one got me really upset. I mean, I can actually feel the tightness in my chest for this one. Mr. Wittenberg stated that he knew from sources that I was going to attack an advocate, whether it be verbally, whether it be assault. I don't know exactly what I was supposed to do, but I repeat, I never was going to attack anyone, made claims that I was going to attack anyone, physical or verbally. And the fact that that was brought up against me, I'm disgusted. I find that not professional at all from someone in his position. And another thing, throughout the conversation that he had with my brother as well, he stated that he was going to come to my place of business that I work at, Strong Island Vapes Labs, and was going to harass me in my place of business, and hopefully I would call the cops and have him escorted out. I asked, what professional, what head of an expo, someone who's supposed to be promoting the vape industry, would do something like that?
There you go. All right. Well, Matt, let me put you back on hold. And let's let
I
Michael
agree. Like I said,
reply.
I've got it's like two family members to go, and it's just
yeah. So Matt, can you hang for a minute?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Hang on. We'll give Michael a chance to reply there. All right, Michael, you've been holding. Thank you for holding on. You say what?
The floor is yours, brother.
So, in addressing to everything, the Legion has been thrown out of now 4 NVE conventions.
Let's clarify. Are you saying the Legion has been thrown out, members of it, or Matthew specifically? Because clarify that.
They're terrorists. They're a terrorist gang. So I know Matt has been thrown out at least one because he got in Joey Jux's face actually, and he has been thrown out of at least one. You're right. I have been, a vendor of mine has been Strong Island Vapes, okay, in the past. And personally, they are not anymore because of their constant harassment. Now, since Strong Island Vapes has been a vendor of mine in the past, okay, wouldn't you think that, or quote unquote, a friend of NVE, wouldn't you think that they would come to me in a private message, after they see the Golden Grams or whatever the hell it was, and say, Mike, this is what's going on. Okay, instead of blasting it on the internet, so I could at least have a conversation with my quote unquote friend saying that this is what's going on. It has been addressed. Attorneys have been consulted. Advocacy groups have been consulted, okay? And I can't remove them now, but there will be a conversation in the future, and that labeling will not be at a future NVE. No, but we have to blast it online like the children we are, and we have to, and we have to create drama behind the successful show. Now, Rod and Pablo were there the entire time. Let me ask you a question. Inside the 4 walls, was there any drama whatsoever?
No. And honestly, I was shocked when I was done with the day. I did not realize all of what had transpired until after it was over because I was tied up. I'm busy. I mean, we're working to raise money for the Virginia Smoke-Free Association. Can I say that name one more time? The Virginia Smoke-Free Association. That is what the focus was, I know, for us, for Vape Radio, for what our mission was. So we were tied up with that. At the end of the day, when I sit back at the hotel room after going to get something to eat and take a look at what has transpired, I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was highly disappointed and shocked.
Right. So with that being said, inside the 4 walls, of which National Vape Expo has produced, there was no drama. Can we agree on that?
No, absolutely. There was no drama at all, and it was honestly one of the
all
better
drama,
shows of the entire year. I would put it in the top 3.
Okay, so all the drama, with that being said, was caused by the Legion online. Yeah, I defended myself, which absolutely, I can. And the statement about me going to Strong Island Vapes and harass and, going over their bottles on their shelves to nitpick was just to prove a point that if I harass people, I get thrown out. Okay, with that being said, Matt has is obviously the head of, or one of the council members or higher government members of this obnoxious group that you call it, okay? And by one thing, he could have came up to me at the convention and said, Mike, do you understand what's going on with the Grand Slam? Yeah, sure, Matt. I know what's going on with the Grand Slam. I've consulted my attorneys. I've consulted advocacy groups. Can't kick them out, but they won't be back with that labeling. Now, with that being said, Rod and Pablo, you guys know me very, very well. Have I done this before? I've done this before. Rod and Pablo, you'll also answer. Do I run one of the most compliant shows in the business?
Yes, your shows are the top one of the. I do all the shows. It's like I said,
there's a reason we love you.
Consistently one of the top show in the United States.
With that being said, let me ask you another question. Easy yes or no's, guys, and easy. So I just want to get. Do I constantly have an above average to very strong advocacy panel at all
Absolutely.
my shows?
Yes. Absolutely. That's one of the things that I love about the show. And I mean, there's actual shows that aren't even doing advocacy anymore. So I love that part about your show.
Okay. When you come to me, Rod, you've come to me on quite a few occasions and said, Mike, you know what? This fundraiser needs an extra 1,000.
Yes.
Or this fundraiser needs an extra 600.
Absolutely.
Do I come in at that moment and do it?
Absolutely. I know even like when we were at Vaping J's, we needed to reach the $5,000 goal for advocacy there, and you came in out of nowhere and stepped up to the plate and donated personally yourself and made that happen. So absolutely, I would completely agree with that statement.
So and with that being said, furthermore, okay, in the several shows and VE shows that you've been at, okay, have I ever kicked anybody out because, for any reason?
I've never seen you kick anyone out until this previous weekend.
Exactly. Because the Legion, their focus was not to confront an issue. It was to make public an issue that was not an issue. You understand what I'm saying? Because Rod and Pablo both know I have some of the most scrutinizing.
Oh,
did we lose
we lost him. We lost him.
No, and I will say, and I said that at the very beginning of this, and that is the thing I would say as regards to the Legion guys, and I love that it's both parties here. The thing is I would say, going for it, please let's go and blast with it. But they said that they contacted him that Friday night before, so
Michael, is that you?
On that.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, all right,
we lost you.
Okay, got him back.
I know. Rod and Pablo both know I have some of the most scrutinizing vendors and sponsors in this industry, and they won't be a part of a show that has anything child appealing or any IP infringement, and you guys could swear to that. Am I correct or wrong?
Right, and it's a transition, I think, for everyone right now with the deadline just changing. I think a lot of companies, I know from working for doing marketing for e-liquid companies that, you know what, it takes a lot of money to get booths changed over, get all these things, marketing materials, and I know we just hit that deadline, and I know there's a transition period there, and I even understand that on the manufacturer's end, going, hey, if you didn't have it compliant by this show, you definitely need to have it compliant by the next. That's
Right, and in closing, again, the FDA was there, attorneys were there.
That's the big thing.
Well-known national organizations, advocacy groups were there speaking on my behalf. Do you think they would have represented NVE as they did on that panel if I did not have a compliant show?
No. I don't know firsthand, but no, I would never think so. No.
So let me ask you this: do you think it was right that the only drama around the show inside those four walls were done by a quote unquote advocacy group on the internet?
Yeah. That's just such a loaded question in the fact that I think that, and I'm being totally honest, I think both parties continue to fuel this fire longer than it should have been fueled. It should have been stopped at the, hey, you've been made to knowledge, you've been made aware of it, and they needed to stop at that point, and I think you needed to stop at that point.
And I think at that point,
focus on what was the task at hand, which was that show, and the vendors that were doing it right, that were at that show.
Right, and at that
point, I
point,
think it got out of control, and it turned into a pissing contest.
Right, and at that point, hang on, Michael, at that point, it should have been directed to the manufacturer for continued pressure on them to change their stuff to be ready for the next show. That's where the pressure should have gone, not continued back toward you.
So on Sunday morning when I got out of bed and I woke up with a clear head and I deleted all the posts.
Right? You told me. You even told me. You said, you know what, Rod? Because I'd been telling you. You will say that I had been telling you the entire time, going, don't. And I didn't agree with you kicking Matt out. And you woke up Sunday morning. You said, you know what? I took the post down. You're right. I don't want to do that. And okay, then what happened?
Okay, then last night, I posted that we raised, just short of 20 grand for the VSFA who were in trouble, and I'm happy that, that they came, and I'm happy we were able to help, and this, that, and the other. And what did they do? They commented.
I don't personally know because I tuned out when I got home. We had
to get home to our families.
I went home, ate some food, and fucked my girlfriend. Just to be honest with you. So hey, there were more important things on. I'm just being totally straight up. So no, I did not study what happened after once I got on that airplane and left Richmond. I have tuned out until this morning because I did not want to focus because it pisses me off. It really does piss me off because a lot of good was done this weekend.
Well, what happened was, the Legion members kept saying, oh, well, it still doesn't excuse that you let the grounds in, and it doesn't excuse you throwing Matt Elliott out. And, well, what's not excused is that Matt Elliott's friends, could have came to me and could have said, this is the situation. And you know what? Not one post would have been made. Not one fuck you would have been exchanged. It would have been a handshake. It would have been exactly what I said to you on the air since the beginning and since I've been preaching all weekend. It has been addressed. My attorneys have been consulted. I've consulted with the VSFA. I've consulted with other advocacy groups. I can't throw them out. They will not. That particular labeling will not be at the next NV. That's how it would have ended. But again, we deal with children, so we have to, stir the pot and create the drama and make ourselves look like complete idiots.
Okay, so
in front of the FDA and in front of whoever else is watching.
All right, so Michael, let me ask you this. If you had it all to do over again, do you still feel like you should have put Matt Elliott out?
And we'll ask them the same question.
Yeah. Do you think you should have had him removed?
Yes.
Okay, you say yes.
Because you know why? Because you know why? Because he was there, his friends were there. He could have came up to me and he could have avoided this whole thing, and him and Tristan and the whole crew. It wouldn't have been mentioned. But
didn't y'all talk? You did talk though, and I think a part of the problem. And God knows, I love you, but both of y'all being New York guys, it turns into hey fuck you, and I get it because I live in Alabama, and it turns into the same thing here. It's just with a Southern accent. Hey fuck you, it's the same thing here where we live, dude. We get it. It turns into a pissing contest at that point.
After we spoke, it got aggressive. And he started again with more pictures and more comments and more this and more that. Listen, let me tell you something. I will tell you this. The Jews are not letting the Nazis into Israel, no matter if it's a good Nazi or a bad Nazi. They're just not doing it.
Okay. All right. Well, Michael. All right. Let me get you to hold for a bit. Let's get some comments here. Get allow people their time to retort. So hang on.
Mina on the line?
Yeah. Sherwin Mina is actually on the line. Advocate extraordinaire. Sherwin, are you still there, bud?
Yes, I am. Hi,
okay, thank you for holding, man. I know, and for everybody who's holding, thank you so much.
Very much.
We will get to you eventually.
As quickly as possible.
Yeah, so Sherwin, go ahead. What's your 2 cents on this?
So the problem that I have here is that Mr. Wittenberg, you are attempting to go ahead and justify these labels via an attorney when we all know that the FDA is not looking at legal recourse. They are looking at misbranded labels. And that's evident by the 14 letters that were sent out by the FDA. Now, you can get any attorney to go ahead and substantiate and defend your cause. But in my personal opinion, I think you are putting profit over responsibility in regards to these shows. You have been doing this exhibition conventions for, I'm assuming, close to 3 years. Am I correct?
I think yes.
Yeah.
At least.
Okay.
He's on hold, so he can't
Okay.
reply to you. So yeah.
Okay, so let's say 3 years. If you don't know what is right for this industry, then I'm sorry. Then either you need to change or you need to get out of the industry or the convention circuit altogether. Because we've got 4 years, and in 4 years, this industry is dead.
If not
And
before.
you cannot go ahead, and you cannot go ahead and substantiate and defend these labels. And you can't hide behind a contract either. You've been in business for 3 years. There's multiple conventions that have very strong kick-out clauses in their contracts. You can easily change that. So you could have changed it for this convention, but I guess you decided, let's try and get more members for the convention in order to go ahead and do the right thing. That is my problem. So, you can go ahead and argue, my attorneys say that this is the way it's going to be. Well, good. When the FDA comes down, they're not coming down with a lawsuit. They're going to shut you down. They're going to shut a manufacturer down, and they could also shut your facility and your venue down. So the time for holding hands, in my opinion, I think is over. I think the time is to go ahead and start doing the right thing. I'd be more than happy to talk to Mr. Wittenberg and kind of guide him in the right direction if he wishes to have that type of advice. But let's try not to hide behind contracts and attorneys, because that does absolutely no one any good. Because we all know, at least the advocates in this industry, that it's not about copyright infringement. It's a part of it, obviously. FDA is concerned about imagery. They're concerned about a product having similar qualities to imagery and companies that market millions to children. That is the concern that the FDA has. That's why it's called misbranded.
There you go.
So I think it's, so it's, and I'm not saying that every convention is going to be 100% perfect. And I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all.
I can tell you from doing them all that there's something that's not, that's questionable with just about it. I mean, anything could be, any of them
and
could
we
be.
are
I
all
could
human.
be picked apart.
Right.
We
are all
could.
human. We all make mistakes. Sure.
I just don't want this kind of shit show to continue. And I going, what can we do to make this better as a community instead of it turning into an internet, dick contest?
Exactly. And props. Let me just go ahead and say this for everybody who's been on today. All right. Thank you for keeping it somewhat civil. Sherwin, you're a prime example of how this should be done. We can speak forcefully, but we can speak civilly.
Right.
And make your point in a very direct manner without having to, dog cuss someone's mother.
Right.
And so I thank you for being a gentleman and a scholar about it.
Right. What would you recommend going forward? What do you think needs to be done so this never, ever happens again? Because like I said, I really am. I mean, sure, that's my prime focus when I show up at a show is, yes, doing my job as far as what we need here, whether it be Vape Radio or our old video show, whatever. But main job number one is that advocacy panel and presenting you guys, getting the attention for you guys so that you deserve, so you're heard by these advocates, and raising money for that local advocacy state. And it really, really pisses me off that we're even having to have these discussions instead of the things that have been done for Virginia Smoke Free, and it continues to need help.
We try to bring the fun so that you guys can bring the message.
Absolutely. And you don't know how many times advocates have been to conventions where there's tons of non-compliant stuff there because they've got no other choice.
Right.
So to say that an advocate is there because the show is compliant doesn't really work. It's because they have no other choice, and they have to eat crow in order to go ahead
and get the message.
On to consumers.
You're absolutely right. I've done it myself.
But kudos for raising that much money for the Virginia Smoke Free Association.
Thank you.
That's a wonderful. They did a great job, and you can't diminish anything like that whatsoever.
Absolutely.
But the point here is that going forward, what needs to be done is very simple. One, all conventions need to have a compliance officer, not an attorney, but a compliance officer that understands this industry to go ahead and do the vetting process for a convention. Don't hire an attorney. An attorney's not going to tell you to do the right thing. He's going to tell you to do what you can squeak by.
You call an attorney when you're already in trouble. Right. let's get somebody that advise you. You know, the priest is before you get in trouble. Let's get those guys. Yeah, I agree. That's a great idea. A compliance officer for shows or anything that we're doing like that to go, you know what? This is what I suggest. So that's a great call. Thank you, Sherwin.
All right, Sherwin, thank you so much. We're going to get some other calls in, okay, brother?
Thank you.
All right.
All right, buddy. Thank you for chiming in, man. Sherwin Mina there. And let's go take, I believe she might still be holding. Hey, Vape Radio. Are you still there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay, there you are. All right. Who's this?
This is Vapor Mom.
Vapor Mom, what do you say?
Uh-oh, Mama done come now. We all in trouble. Shit.
Yep. Well, you know what? The way I look at it like this, I came in to the NVE, and I have to admit, you should be surrounded by advocacy, but when I walked into that convention and seen the labeling, I understand we got to that companies need to push out their old bottles to generate in the new, but when I seen all the labeling, yes, the FDA wants to make it all about kid-appealing labels and so on and so forth. And yes, we do want to think about our own children and blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, that is how it kind of feels sometimes, is blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Unfortunately, we all have to do... Unfortunately, we have to do whatever we need to do as vapors, business owners, manufacturers, whatever the case may be, in order for the FDA and the government of whatever sort to be happy. Right. This industry should not be divided. We should be united.
Absolutely.
I'm sitting back. Vaping is the best thing I ever did. I've got children that try and convince smokers to vape, and they express their own personal experience. Like my son was asthmatic, so he reaches out and he tries to get a hold of those heartstrings, and sometimes he is successful, but at the same time, we must educate ourselves. We must educate our family, no matter the age. And at the same time, we need to start learning that we don't need to be hot-headed and arrogant, and we need to join forces as one. If something is wrong, okay, it got called out. Whoop-de-doo. I almost thought about not going to the convention over, a couple of things that were brought up. I still went, but long story short... Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're letting you. The floor is yours, baby.
I apologize. I kept hearing this little noise, so I was like, what? Okay.
That's our mods.
But yeah, hit them away. But the thing about it is in this industry, I know sometimes you got to be on your toes, but at the same time, you also got to think civilly. Right. You can't just be hot-headed 24/7 when you think there might be a situation that is going to arise. You deal with that situation when it does arise.
Right.
And for what had happened, it was uncalled for. And even though I am not very close with Matt, even though I'm not very close with Legion, I am familiar with everybody. I am in the state of North Carolina. I know of Sherwin, and, I appreciate all the work that him and, everybody does for North Carolina and every state in the United States as well. However, I agree with Sherwin. I agree with a lot of y'all about how there should be a clause in there.
No, absolutely. I can't believe there isn't one already. That honestly, I would have assumed there was. And for anyone doing a show, not just MVE, but
seems
anyone,
like that should be standard practice.
Right. I know. I DJ'd nightclubs for years, and we could kick you out for any reason if you came into our place. I mean, we can literally just say, no, this is a private club. You have to go. So he has every right to do that. But I do agree with you that needs to be done.
All right, Mom. Well, thank you for your comments. We really appreciate you calling in.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
All right, sweetheart.
All right.
All right, let's go back. Let's get Matthew back on here. I believe he's still holding.
Yes,
Matthew, are you still there?
Yep, I'm
okay.
still here.
Okay. All right. So, closing thoughts here. Where do we go forward? How can this be rectified? Is there a way we can squash all of this and,
become better from this instead of this being another black eye? Now, we've taken our lump as an industry for this black. We've taken this black eye this weekend when we did a lot of good, and we're still walking around with a black eye. Now, where do we go to make this where this doesn't happen? What can we do to make this right and to learn from this?
Or what could specifically, what could Michael do to help squash this?
Well, I think first off, everything happens for a reason. I truly do believe that. I may not believe in a higher power. I may not believe in, a God or anything like that, but I do believe everything does happen for a reason. And there are a lot of conventions that, there may not be a dismissal clause. There may not be a, if your booth is not up to standards, you have to leave clause. And I think that is something that needs to become a staple in the convention contract.
I agree.
Standard, yes. So this happened because of multiple things. Now, as far as some of the comments that Mr. Wittenberg made have still not yet been addressed.
Okay.
Such
First
as?
off was he did, I was a little confused because he said he's never thrown anybody out of any of his conventions. Yet right before, he said he's removed, first it was me 3 times, now this time, and then he also said at the same time he removed other Legion members. Now, he did remove an old Legion member by the name of Rich for the issue with Joey Jux. That was one. He also removed one of our brothers, Twitch, from Mobile.
Yeah, we know Twitch. We're good friends with Twitch.
Mobile or Atlanta.
Really?
And he removed him as well.
I didn't know about that.
So that's 2 people that he has removed, yet he claims he's never removed anyone.
Okay.
Also, he said my boss never contacted him, which was also a lie. My boss contacted him and stated that he did lie and say that he removed me. And he said that Strong Island Vapes would not participate due to the unprofessionalism and the fact that he's attacking one of his workers.
Right.
And we did contact him. That's the thing. We have the screenshots of the conversation with him about, hey, you're going to do this. Because he said, if someone reached out to me, this would have been done. Well, it was reached out. And then he chose to react in, I guess, a defensive manner. I don't know. But then the allegations against me again were that I was going to attack or assault verbally or otherwise. An advocate have not yet been addressed either. These are blatant lies, and as I've said, find me proof. Show me proof from that expo of what I was doing, what I was about to do, because I was with my friends the entire time.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
As far as me and Mr. Wittenberg, that's not going to be over. Because there have been multiple lies told about me, now on National Vape Radio, but on the internet as well. So I'm taking that very seriously. Because that damages my reputation.
Give credit where credit's due. International Vape Radio.
Sorry, International Vape Radio.
Trying to inject a little levity into there.
Well, and I was just informed that Twitch was removed from Vape Showcase Atlanta. It was not an NV event. So, okay, just to clarify. So it was Atlanta. Okay. You were right about that, but it was Vape Showcase. Don't want to.
But there was
get it correct.
One person that was removed from an NV event, and that was Rich.
Okay.
Who was allowed back in afterwards, but he was actually removed.
Yeah, and I got that. Rich Will was removed with Joey Jux. Yes. Okay. Yep. You're right. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And that was also one of the last events that Joey Jux was at.
Well, like I said, man, we are just at a stage of this industry. We got to get it together, you know.
Absolutely, we're killing ourselves.
Yeah.
The FDA doesn't have to do anything.
No, and
they gave us the 4 years. We can either fix it, we can become compliant, we can do the right thing, or we can spend the 4 years making as much money as possible, and at the same time tying that noose and hanging a life-saving industry.
Right. You're right. You're right, man. I said, I think that's why we need to handle these things and get these things clarified. And
I think Matthew just dropped off. We just lost him.
Okay.
So Matthew, if you want to call back, call back.
Okay.
But yeah,
it is important.
Until then, we'll go back over to Michael. Michael, are you still there?
Oh, I'm still here.
Okay. So again, same question back to you.
Yeah.
How can this be fixed going forward? And can this be squashed? Can this be, can there be a happy resolution to this?
Because we want to make this show where it continues on and things are,
Right.
because there's so many vapors. It does so much good for the community. We don't need to let that be lost in this.
And to have these things recur
we don't
in
want
future shows.
Right.
We want these things to be squashed. So can it be squashed on your end?
First of all, NVE is not going anywhere. With that being said, I did say that I never kicked anybody out besides the Legion, which obviously other shows, since it came in, I've kicked them out before, so it doesn't say much for their cause because they're troublemakers. Again, this could have, and I also said that I was confronted online after I gave, the non-sufficient answer to the Legion. I was then attacked publicly. Okay. With that being said, all I did was I made a post saying that I don't want them at my show because I don't like drama. Again, I know you guys for a really long time. Yeah. We've been through a lot together.
Absolutely, man.
And as you know, I don't like drama in my life. So I'd rather have the drama wait outside. So with that being said, I run a clean show. I donate a lot of my personal money to advocacy. I revolve shows.
Oh, we're losing you, Michael.
Instead,
there you are. Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I said I focus events like NVE around donating money to advocacy and raising money for awareness and doing this, that, and the other. I let the FDA in gladly because I know I run a compliant business. With that being said, okay, again, the one thing Matt did say is that we're hanging ourselves, and it's true because it's become, there's an old saying, don't air dirty laundry. You've heard it, and I'm sure everybody else has heard it, okay? You come to me, I gave an answer, okay? Will Mama Son's Grand Slam be at the next NVE Denver?
I hope they are. No, I hope they are. I hope they are there, but with corrected backdrops, with corrected things.
Right.
No, because I hope they are there. They are part of this community too. I hope this gets resolved, and like I said, we learn about this and go, let's be better. Let's not fight ourselves.
Exactly. But with that being said, again, there's two ways to do business. There's the quiet and polite way, and then there's the way the Legion does business with, because I didn't give a sufficient answer to their confronting me, they want to blow it out of proportion. And will the Legion, that's just the way it is. Okay, I've been in business since I'm 19 years old. I've been in multiple industries, and I've been successful at them because I handle business the correct way. I raise a lot of money for this business. I advocate for this business. I have some of the majority, all of my vendors are super, super compliant. Something that gets sprung on me last minute has to be handled, but it has to be handled right. I don't want a lawsuit from Mama Son. I don't want a lawsuit from anybody else. But you know what? With that being said, the FDA was in the hall. The FDA did not cite anybody, including Mama Son. There were no letters handed out. Okay? Was it done in bad taste? 100%. And I will, again, I've talked to Ryan over the weekend, and I'm talking to him today. He wasn't even at the show.
Right, no, he wasn't.
But with that being said, I have to do things the right way for not only my business, but for the industry. And the way it was that do you think that it would have been the right thing to do to have people tear down that booth and escort them out, in the middle of a show or right before the doors opened? Absolutely not. That's super unprofessional, especially after two attorneys and advocacy group said, it's done in bad taste, but, you can't do anything about it. With that being said, again, I'm going to urge Ryan to change the labeling. And if he doesn't want to change the labeling, I'm going to ask him not to bring that brand to Denver. So with that being said, I can't do anything more than what I did. But what they can do is learn how to be professional and not air dirty laundry.
Okay.
Because it makes us all look retarded.
All right. So again, because I want to see like some kind of resolution to this, because Michael, we love you. And we love Matthew too. And it's like again, like Rod said, it's like our family is fighting, and we want to see there be a happy resolution. But it doesn't sound like, between the two of you at least, that there's going to be. Is there any hope for that?
No, I'm not. Matt's not coming to the wedding next year. Let's just say that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, hang on, because I think we may have him back here. Hang on. Let me check this. Hang on. Hold. I'm trying to make sure I don't hang up on anybody here. Hey, Vape Radio, who's this?
Yeah, my name's Lane. I just have one retort, or actually a couple of retorts to Michael.
Okay.
The issue that I have, and I have the same issue that Sherwin Mina has, is that he put profits before the industry. And it doesn't matter how much money that you raise for the industry, when you neglect the industry for profits or personal gain, it kind of washes out what you just did that was good. Not kicking out somebody due to fear of lawsuit, a company that could be detrimental to the life of the industry, kind of sounds hypocritical when you want to kick out somebody who fights for the industry, who fights for the right things to be done, and who fights and does everything that's supposed to be done the right way. He also shadow claused or blanket claused 50,000 plus people, saying that you're not allowed to come to the event if you're part of a group called Convicted Vapes or the Vaping Legion.
Yeah, that's a large.
I mean, I'm a
large segment of vapors.
I'm a part of both those groups. I had plans to buy a booth at NVE in Denver for my own company. Am I going to now? No, because he didn't want to do the right thing for the industry. I'll put my money where my mouth is.
There you go. Well, Lane, thank you for your comments, man. I know you actually were holding for quite a while, so thank you for holding and getting that in, brother.
No, and I agree.
Thank you.
I don't know, man. It's just got to be. We've got to do better than this, guys. It's
Absolutely.
It's really frustrating, because even when I hear him say that all that was done good doesn't matter because of what happened in the bad, where I know that, like you and I personally, I know how hard I worked for that advocacy and those things. I know that was my focus, and I barely saw Michael. He's running his show, and I'm doing my thing.
And it was a great show.
And to hear that, it just breaks my heart, because I didn't leave my child to go to another state to bust my ass for advocacy and raise $20,000 almost for this group, and to do this for it just to be washed away and thrown in like it doesn't matter. And that's a fucking shame, man. It is.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a break. We'll come right back on Vape Radio, vaperadio.com, and get kind of maybe some closing thoughts on this. And again, Matthew, I don't know if you're holding online, but if you are, call back. We'll be right back. Vape Radio.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Is your e-liquid the best quality product it could be? Are you sure your e-liquid is ready for the PMTA process? Find out at the Vapor Quality Summit, October 13th and 14th in Ontario, California, hosted by Northguide Solutions. This event will include an in-depth perspective of current rules and guidance about FDA regulations, how to begin a quality program, roundtable reviews, and in-depth analysis of challenges facing this industry, proper e-liquid waste disposal, purchasing an ERP system, proper batch records, what to do during an FDA audit, upcoming HPHC testing, PMTA analytical breakdowns, laboratory procedurals, OSHA responsibility, and much more. With industry expert speakers and more, the Vapor Quality Summit will give you a team of experts who can guide you towards the PMTAs and beyond. The Vapor Quality Summit, October 13th and 14th in Ontario, California. Sign up to attend today at www.ngsint.com. That's ngsint.com.
Well, hello, Betty. Bouncing Betty is now available nationwide with a fresh new look and co-packed by the legendary Cyclops Vapor. This nationwide invasion now includes all 6 amazing 120 ml flavors: exotic fruit, candy, sour, ice, slushy, and cream. Order today at nostalgichwholesale.com and use code Vape Radio and save $1 per bottle with no MOQ.
Stop dreaming about me, boys. You can pick me up at nostalgichwholesale.com.
What's up? This is the Rodman, and I want to tell you about my Mod Shield. I love it. Mod Shield makes the world's best silicone cases for all your mods. They protect your mods against nicks, scratches, and most anything. I love mine, and I think you will too. With 15 different colors to choose from, with options like camo and even glow in the dark, your mod will stay safe in style. A perfect fit for any mod. This case doesn't interfere with your buttons or battery doors. With great pricing and quick shipping, what are you waiting for? Grab one today. TheModShield.com. Wholesale and retail available at TheModShield.com.
Use promo code Vape Radio 10 for 10% off retail or wholesale orders.
Woohoo! Vaping's changed my life. I'm more active and doing things I've never done before, like skydiving. Thanks to Cyclops Vapor, I was able to find a better tasting alternative to smoking. I went to CyclopsVapor.com and used their store locator to find a shop near me. Now, I can get better tasting e-liquid no matter where I go.
Discover a better alternative. Enjoy legendary e-liquid from Cyclops Vapor.
Need a new all-day vape? Maybe the newest piece of hardware. Need DIY supplies? No matter what you're looking for, eLiquid.com has the largest selection of in-stock e-liquid hardware, replacement coils, DIY supplies, and more. With our selection of more than 12,000 brands and over 44,000 products in-house, your favorite e-liquid hardware and vape gear is in stock. Use our rewards program and cash in those points for additional savings. eLiquid.com is your one-stop shop for all of your vaping needs and ships fast and free with no minimum required.
Terms and conditions apply. Refer to our site to see if you're eligible for free shipping.
eLiquid.com. Vape simplified.
Vape Radio, vaperadio.com, and the free Android app. Pablo and the Rodman back again.
Yeah, I got real quick before you get back to the phone calls. I've got some really a couple of important messages that I received that I want to put out there. Andy Hahn just chimed in. He just wanted to say hi, everyone.
Hi, Andy.
So
love Andy.
Right, I missed the guy. Right, yeah.
Andy's awesome.
Yeah, Andy wanted to say hi, and then Kevin from Pinnacle, Lacey, he just wants to know, like, can he sponsor this whole show right now, please?
Yes, but only if I get to step on his wife's foot accidentally. Again.
I want a motorboater. Anyway, contact.
Hi, Jess.
Anyway, now proceed.
Sorry about the broken foot. All right, let's get back to the phones, and again, we do have Matthew Elliott back. His cell phone signal had dropped out. So Matthew, again, we kind of want to see, like, can we go forward? You know, can you guys get past this and work through this? You know.
So is that you guys according to me and Mr. Wittenberg?
Yeah. Yes.
Or is that for the Legion and Mr. Wittenberg?
Well, specifically, both, really, I guess.
I don't know any of it.
Because I can only speak for myself. I mean, the term Legion is many.
Right, and our thing is we love Matthew Elliott.
Yeah.
We love Michael Wittenberg.
Yeah.
We love Tristan Thompson. We
love this industry more than anything,
right?
And that's the problem. Is we need to make this right.
We need our family all working together.
We need to go forward where this is not a problem.
Right.
This does never ever happen again.
Right. So can we get to a point where all of these groups can work in harmony together? Do you see that happening?
I personally don't see an issue with everybody working together. It reminds me of, back when the vape industry is high school, let's be honest. Or at least the drama aspect is high school. So back in high school, I had a very good friend. I had two very good friends. And they had a falling out with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So one friend turned to me and said, you know what, dude? You're free to make whatever choices you want. You can, be friends with whoever the hell you want to be friends with. I'm not going to take it personally. I said, you know what, I appreciate that because, like I said, you're both very good friends. We obviously just can't all chill together anymore. Mm-hmm. So my other friend turned to me and just, he was on a whole different level. I don't know if he wasn't thinking straight or not. And he used to be, a really good friend, like we didn't see eye to eye all the time, but we had each other's back.
Okay.
He turned to me and said, I'm going to make something very simple for you. Before I could even, talk to him about the whole thing, he said, listen to me. If you're friends with him, you're not friends with me. And if I see you, we're going to have problems. And I was taken aback by that because, it's like, I want to be friends with everybody. Whatever two parties have against each other is not my problem. I have no issues with them. So it was a very easy decision for me. I stuck with the guy that said, hey, you know what, dude? do whatever the hell you want to do. I don't care. I enjoy chilling with you. And I wrote off my other really good friend. And this is kind of like how, I don't want to like compare it to this, but it just seems very, there's so much tension.
Eerily
and now my issue is, my issue right now is with Mr. Wittenberg, because he has yet to address the claims that he's made against me. Every time he has a chance to talk, it's just always about NVE. It's always about, he does such a great job. He does this, he does that. And, I've never said he doesn't do anything for advocacy. I even said on my live feed I never said he never did anything for advocacy, because he did raise a lot of money for advocacy groups. But my issue with him is that on International Vape Radio, see, I said it right this time.
Thank you.
He made very serious claims against me, including me attacking an advocate, or claiming that I was going to attack an advocate, which he even said he had people, like, he spoke to people and they said I was going to do it. Like, he almost had witnesses and vouches. That's a very serious claim, because I don't do any of that stuff. I'm going into an expo and I'm going to attack an advocate. I don't do that. That's counterproductive.
Right.
Okay.
Especially if it was a physical means. And as far as the whole coming to my job and harass me, he never said anything about going through the bottles and seeing if we are compliant, which we are. But my lab's a closed location. It's not open to the public. There's a big sign on the door that says that. So if he were to come in, he would be trespassing. I'm going to highly advise he doesn't do that. But he backtracked very quickly when I said that. If you're going to talk about me doing this, me doing that, me supposedly doing this, you need to back it up. You need proof. Like I told the security guard and the head of and the police officer, what is the proof? We don't have any, just his word. Okay. So we're just going to go by the word of one person versus the word of someone who has multiple witnesses that he's never done anything. Okay. So, Mr. Wittenberg, you don't have to like me, because I sure as hell don't like you. But I would like an apology for you to at least admit that you were wrong and that you did lie about me going to attack an advocate, or me being thrown out, me specifically, because I still have the screenshots of you saying that I got thrown out, because that is defamation of character. That is harassment. And I don't want to go down that road. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, but as far as the vape industry is concerned, we have to stop shooting each other in the foot.
Yeah.
We have to come together. And like I said, if you choose to, be a Wittenberg supporter, hey, that's cool, man. Write those letters to CASA. Write those letters to your representatives. Make those phone calls. Do the I quit using flavored vapor stickers. Post them everywhere you can. And be part of the fight. Don't be part of the problem. I don't have to like you. But if you're advocating and being an activist, I'm not going to beef with you.
Right. All right.
There you go.
There you go. And I'd like to add in right now, virginiasmokefree.org, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone listening, virginiasmokefree.org. They need your help, all right? So
there you go.
Just throw that in there. So thank you, Matt, for being on today.
Yeah.
And for calling in.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to say my side and to address the vapors internationally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anytime, Matt. Anytime.
That's
All
what
right.
we're here for.
Okay.
All right, man. Go have a good day.
Thank you, bud.
All right. And Michael Wittenberg.
Let's go to my brother Michael, man.
Michael, final thoughts. Where do we go from here?
Final thoughts of this. I produce an event, right?
Yeah.
I do good for this community, okay? I don't like drama, and drama will not be allowed inside my four walls during my show, as it's a private event. The Legion has caused drama for 4 events now, and I just don't think it's necessary. With that being said, yes, absolutely, write your state senators, write everybody, okay? I will continue to be an advocate, as I always have been, for this industry. And as far as his claims saying that he was going to attack an advocate, that's absolutely fine that he could claim that, quote unquote. But his history, history tends to repeat itself. And making trouble at multiple shows is making trouble at multiple shows. And always, and they're just not they're not friends of, they could be friends of the vape industry, but they don't have to be friends of, again, Michael Wittenberg and NVE. With that being said, if you want to support them, that's cool, and I appreciate that, but, we're always here to, produce a good event, raise money for advocacy, raise awareness for this business, convert smokers, and have a good time, and that's what we do.
Right. Okay. And again, VirginiaSmokeFree.org. I go back to that because that's where I started at. That's the shame that I'm really almost 20,000. I mean, let me tell that story one more time in case some people are joining us late, because I know our listeners are through the roof now compared to what they were when we started. But when we first got there, Friday, we met with the guys from Virginia Smoke Free Association, and they tell us they're in trouble. They don't have funding to get to the end of the year. They have over 300 shops there in the state of Virginia, and they only have 19 members.
That's
I
horrible.
mean, that is just, yes, it's
Horrible.
Absolutely, it is horrible. And the thing is they want to know, can we help them? So I met with Jay Taylor and those guys, and we managed to raise almost $20,000, get them funded through the end of the year.
A lot more members.
Distinctive e-liquids. They're going to give 25 cents of every bottle they sell to the Virginia Smoke Free Association. They're not even in Virginia, but if they're a manufacturer, you do business in Virginia, or you have a vape shop, you need to be part of that Virginia Smoke Free Association.
Right.
We've got to change that. That's the part I think it's unacceptable, and I'm upset about.
Right, because that should have been the focus of what happened.
That should have been the focus of this weekend.
Right. That should have been the focus of what happened in those four walls.
So let's do this also. By the way, everybody keeps saying we almost raised $20,000. The number was $19,000, and I'm very proud of that as a show producer. But let's round that up and make it $20,000. And that'll come out of my pocket, the extra $1,000.
There you go.
Bingo.
All right. Good deal.
Wonderful.
Good deal. Awesome.
All right.
And I think that's what needs to be done because, again, that is a lot of great things come out of that show this weekend.
Yeah.
And, again, it honestly breaks my heart for that to be taken away from because we met so many new vapors that had just quit smoking. We met so many people for their first time at a vape convention. So many. I mean, a lot at this show. And this is right in the middle of tobacco country where these people were so happy for us to be there. And they enjoyed themselves so much. For them, it was a fantastic show. There was no knowledge of any of this stuff going on in those four walls. It was a great show that we did great things, a great advocacy panel.
Yeah.
And I hate that anything has taken away from that. And if I could say anything, it would be if you are a manufacturer, help the Virginia Smoke Free Association. They need your help. Go to VirginiaSmokeFree.org. If you're a vape shop, we're going to be calling. You know what I want to do the rest of this week? We normally call
Virginia vape shops.
Yeah, we normally call vape shops. If they're listening to Vape Radio, we give them $100. Let's call vape shops this week. And if we're going to call them in Virginia, if they're a member, they're going to get $100. If they're not a member, tough shit.
Bingo.
You need to become a member. So that needs to be the focus of where we're at. And I'm sorry that we can't get this with you and Matt resolved and we can't come to some happy ending with it. But I've tried.
Right. I would like to ask this of the vape community, and I would ask this of the Legion. I would ask this of Michael, of Matthew, of everybody who loves this industry. You know what? If you've been commenting on all this stuff, how about let's stop. Let's stop. First and foremost, no more comments. Right. Freeze. Everybody freeze. Let's instead, everybody go make a comment about a manufacturer who is putting out a correct e-liquid or your advocacy group in your state or something like that. Let's put out something positive
today.
Yeah. And let's do that.
Yes.
Let's share that message out. Because, again, we need to get those. That's what we need the rest of the world
There's
to see. The non-vaping,
out there
non-smokers in the world who need to see the positive messages instead of this.
We've got to change the narrative and stop the fighting amongst ourselves no matter what the issue is. It needs to start being handled behind closed doors always, first and foremost, till it is resolved and never not put on blast.
Like grown men and women.
And let's not, put on a bad face for this industry, for all the companies and all the people that are doing it the right way, because there were a lot of vendors. There were more vendors there, that were doing everything in their power to do it the right way and involved that don't deserve this kind of black eye.
Right, absolutely. Michael, would you agree with that?
I agree. I believe that every vendor did the right thing. Again, the Mama Son booth was in bad taste. I agree with that, and I will go to my grave with that. Whether or not I was able to do anything at the show, that's up for debate. But knowing, producing conventions for the past 20 years, again, I know what I had the ability to do and what I did not have the ability to do. Right. With that being said, I've always vetted all my vendors, and you've been to multiple events. I've vetted all my vendors all the time. Okay, I run a completely compliant show. We have a lot of fun. We raise a lot of money, and people do a lot of business and that money goes back into this product that we believe saves lives, and it does save lives. It saved my life, and it saved your life, and it saved everybody else's life. But again, the one message that I want everybody to realize out of this whole thing is airing dirty laundry makes people look stupid, and that's the bottom line.
Right.
There you go.
And the thing is and it could be said of it, look, maybe we're doing that by going with this morning. But you know what I would tell people is, no, you know what? I wanted to get this up and over with, and let's sit down at the dinner table. Let's resolve this and put as much attention on the Virginia Smoke-Free Association as we can where it rightfully deserves, because that's who needs the attention right now. Again, they need our help. If you're making money in Virginia, you need to be on board with that. So if we can use this drama to refocus where it needs to be, which is the Virginia Smoke-Free Association and advocacy, then by goddamn, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to use this drama to point right back at the Virginia Smoke-Free Association. And I hope to God, anybody out there listening, if you're a manufacturer, you need to get involved. Do like Distinctive did. Donate 25 cents. What's that going to hurt? You know what I mean? 25 cents to everybody. Whatever. Anything you can do. Whatever you can do. Become a member. Help those guys out.
So in the last, we over the course of the last, in the last 3 days from MVE alone, we raised $20,000 for Virginia. Again, I'll put in the last 2,000, and that in itself was worth everything. That go ahead.
There you go.
You know what? I agree. I'll take it.
All right, Michael. Well, thank you for being. Thank you for coming on and talking about this, buddy.
Absolutely, man.
Again, we love every party involved, and we're proud to know every party involved, and it's. You hate to see it go this way, but hopefully there can be some good that comes out of this.
Right.
So,
well, you know what? The Virginia Smoke-Free Association, they're funded through the end of the year.
Bingo.
So I'm happy. That wasn't the case Friday when we got there.
That's right. All right, Michael, thank you, brother. Go have a good day, man.
You too.
All right, brother. Later. All right, we do have some other people have been hanging for a while. Let's go here. Hi, Vape Radio. Who's this?
Hello?
Hey, you're on.
Hey.
Hey, who's this?
Dylan, what's up? This is Dylan.
Oh, Dylan Thompson.
Hey, buddy. What's up? My favorite.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing well, man. Doing great. Great to hear from you, man.
To long-time listener, first-time caller.
No, you got it wrong. You're supposed to say first-time caller, or long-time caller, first-time listener. I.e., you've been prank calling us forever, but you don't actually listen.
Go ahead, man.
I was just, do you guys know of any good strawberry flavors out there?
Yeah, I thought he was going to request Iron Maiden.
No, in all seriousness, with all this heavy talk today, I was hoping we could lighten it up a little bit. Let's talk about politics or religion or something.
Yeah,
right. No doubt, man. No doubt. It's
no. And
go ahead.
You guys had this is going way back hours into this conversation. You guys had a question about the warning labels, and I don't know if it ever got really answered or not. So I was going to throw in my 2 cents as I understand it.
Okay.
And I'm getting this information directly from, on July 20th, I went to a big SFATA conference here in Texas with Hazim Chaudhry, Greg Conley, Shell Hamill, and the warning label stuff was brought up extensively. So just to clarify, as a retailer, you can sell your inventory that you have in stock until you sell out, even if it doesn't have the required warning label now, as long as it had some version of a warning prior to the required warning. Does that make sense?
Right. Now, do you count as a retailer if you are the manufacturer selling at a show? Do you qualify as a quote-unquote retailer, or is that meant for retail vape shops? That's where we were kind of confused on that.
Okay, that specifically refers to retail vape shops, but then you got to take companies like ours that we are a manufacturer and a retailer, and we're not alone in that situation. There's quite a few people like that, right?
Right. And a vape show is kind of a mix. It's not a traditional trade show in the sense of some industries where it's just manufacturing or people doing just the business. There's consumers, so it's kind of a hybrid, of consumers and business. You know? So how are you a retailer at that point?
So, as they explained it to us on that day, based on their understanding of the law as it's written, a manufacturer has, I think they had a month from the deadline, which was the 11th of August, to clear their inventory. Like if you're a distributor.
Yeah, 10th of August, and then through September 11th.
Correct. So you can get out your old labels then. After that, as a distributor, we can't distribute any of our products to anybody after the 11th without that required warning label. But the shops, as long as it was in your inventory before then yes, you have safe harbor and you can sell that product until you're sold out.
There you go. All right. Good to know, man.
Yeah,
now,
that is.
the show thing happened, also came up. And they were pretty adamant that even the booths, because your booth is an advertisement, is it not?
No, right.
Of course
I think the
it
question was like in a private event, like say when you go into a football stadium and there's a warning on the back of your ticket that
you could get hit in the face with a football.
Have you, that you have been fair warned as you entered this premises, and there doesn't necessarily
that
be
this type of event is going on.
They don't need a warning on every seat, if we're in that example, and that would be it's the same kind of thing as far as what was being applied here. This is a vape convention. Now, if you took that booth out and put it into a public setting anywhere, then obviously would need a warning. And I don't know what the right answer is. But they both.
Yeah, exactly. That's the most frustrating thing about all of this is that everybody interprets the law 100 different ways.
Right.
So that's very frustrating. But they made it sound like you need to have that warning on every booth, every T-shirt, every hat, every sticker, anything that you use as promotional products. Take that for what it's worth.
Right.
The other thing concerning
I'd put it on everything.
Stuff that happened. Yeah. Concerning the conventions, it seems like an easy fix, and you guys already brought it up, but you talk about vetting vendors. They need to submit ahead of time photos of their booth or their labels or whatever.
Before a contract is signed.
Yeah, and it's in the contract. We've been to several shows where it's plain English. If you don't live up to the standards and practices of this event, you can be removed at any moment. So I don't know. It's not that hard to figure out.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
And some pre-vetting before that contract is even signed would help.
Right.
Yes.
And I know the one thing, like
help that even more.
Since Mama-san's the one where that adds a topic on this particular, one of them, the main one.
Right.
I wouldn't say the only one, but the main one that we're discussing here. But this happens a lot of times. I know from dealing with these people that put on all the shows, whether it be NVE or the other ones, is that they get this company is going to be there. Let's say Mama-san, for instance.
Right.
Well, you pictured the typical Mama-san booth that has the ladies behind it with their man,
with the fans,
and then they show up and they've got that, but they've got another thing that that's not. This says something different than what we've seen at the previous show or what has been vetted or whatever. So I think that they definitely need the power to walk around the show that Friday or that Saturday morning before the show opens, and double check those particular booths, everyone's booth, and and see if it lines up in compliance with what is to be accepted at that show.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah. Now you want to hear Iron Maiden?
Well, I always want to hear Iron Maiden, but I'm feeling more like Rush today.
Right.
We need some Rush in our lives.
Yeah, I do too, but the kind you smell at this point, Jesus.
All right, Dylan, thanks so much for your call, brother. We appreciate it.
I would side, again, I'm not clear on whether you would need it on every single thing or not. If I were a manufacturer, I think I would put it on my booth because I'd rather be safe than sorry. I know, like Prohibition, they had their booth up, brand new booth. It looked fantastic. It was lit up. It had the warning labels on, huge, all the way across the top. You could not miss it on anything. And yet the booth still looked really, really, really good.
Sure.
In fact, he won an award. In fact,
Best
Joey,
menthol.
Yeah, Joey.
Yeah,
and,
for that White Lightning on Ice.
They're killing it with Prohibition. And the thing is he did that. He went and redid his whole booth and put it on there. Whether it was needed or not, it was just he went ahead and did that.
Better safe than
and
sorry.
It did still look good. It really did. It looked good. Kyle from Cream, and Sammy did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Their booth looked it still looked really good. I know it's frustrating for us to put these warning labels on all those things, but I mean, believe you me, every time we go into a commercial break or you log on, you hear that same warning. And we don't even sell tobacco, but I'd rather side on the safe of being safe than sorry. We don't sell nicotine. We don't sell any of those things. We're not a manufacturer, but yet, we have a warning just because of that very reason.
Yeah. So, all right, Dylan, thanks so much, bud. Go have a good day, man.
Hey, thanks, guys. And Rod, are you there still?
Yeah, I'm here, buddy.
Just I hear you today. I hear how upset you are, and don't be upset. You're doing the right thing. The people you work with do the right thing. There's a ton of us out here doing the right thing, and the frustration is boiling over, though, to the point where all the people that are doing the right thing are just really, really frustrated with all the people not doing the right thing. But what choice do we have other than to just keep going forward? And the 15 people that we converted yesterday from smoking into vaping, they don't know anything about Facebook. They don't know anything about conventions. They don't know anything about any of this stuff. It doesn't matter to them. What matters is what we do. And what we can do is just keep going forward and keep helping people to make that switch. So stay,
I agree.
Stay positive, my friend. That's all I'm saying.
I appreciate it, brother. I love you, man. I do appreciate it. And you're right. It's very frustrating. It is.
All right, Dylan. We love you, man. We'll see you soon, brother.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
And again, talking to all the companies that are out there doing it right and seeing them going down and their sales going down and them struggling, and they shouldn't be. They have quality product. They're doing it right. But you know what? Vapors, for some reason, there's only the minority of them are the ones that support these companies and buy it regularly and support the ones doing it. But they're real quick to run and purchase whatever's the companies that aren't doing it right.
Right.
And if they weren't, I don't think this would be an issue in this industry. So I think that, as well as shows, I think vapors in general, me included, all of us have a responsibility to support and purchase liquid from the companies that are only doing it right and not from the companies that are doing it wrong. I don't give a damn what it tastes like.
Exactly. And, again, we mentioned this earlier. There's a big difference in perception versus reality, in that there are a lot of brands out there who are doing it the right way, who are big brands, who I hear people go like, oh, yeah, they're killing it. They're huge or whatever.
Right. And I know for a fact they're not.
They're not.
Right.
They might have been at one point, but because the market is flooded with all this other stuff, people just kind of assume, oh, well, they're
good.
They're good. No.
They'll always be here. Guess what? That manufacturer may not be here to donate to advocacy and continue doing it right and continue supporting this industry because you didn't support them.
Right. Exactly. And support doesn't mean, well, we like their Facebook post or their Instagram or, oh, yeah, we know those guys. We saw them at a show. No, it means spend money with them.
Right.
Buy their products. Carry their products.
Tell your vape shops that you frequent to carry them. You
know?
I mean, just like we were speaking about the Virginia Smoke Free Association. Let me get that one more time in.
Who?
VirginiaSmokeFreeAssociation.org. It's VirginiaSmokeFree.org. The thing is like you said, you got over 300 vape shops. There's lots of vape shops making money in Virginia.
And
we walk in and there were only 19. There's more than that now, thanks to what we did this weekend.
So you know what?
But
props to the 19 who were there.
They're already.
Right.
Because I called, I made them raise their hands on the stage from the advocacy and said, who has a vape shop in Virginia? And I said, all right, now who of you are members of, the Virginia Smoke Free Association? Okay. Why aren't the rest of you?
Right. Exactly.
I expect you to be joined up by the end of the day.
Right.
And I think those are the things that our energy and time needs to be spent on.
Damn right. All right. One last. We got one last call here. Hi, Vape Radio. Who's this?
Hey, it's Skeeter.
Hey, what's up, Skeeter? He was at the show.
Yeah, you were at the show. What do you think?
It's like this. Hell, all you got to worry about really, you need labels that are not kid friendly. I'll agree with that. I don't support that. But you need advocacy. You need to be part of the CASA, part of the Georgia Smoke Free, Virginia Smoke Free. It don't make a damn who it is.
Right.
We need to back this shit far as we can back it.
Right. If not, it's not going to be there.
The fighting and the bullshit needs to stop.
Damn right.
You're right. Preach it, Skeeter.
I
You're
work
absolutely
in a
right.
vape shop. I deal with people every day that just comes in and says, "Hey, I want to quit smoking." Basically,
right.
We don't try to sell them something that they don't need. We talk to them. We find out what they want. The whole situation, and then we go from there.
And that's
just
a
like
good way
you
to
walk
do it.
in my shop and you walk in my shop and you tell me you've been vaping 2 weeks and you want to buy RDA. I'm not going to sell you one. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm not going to blow you up because you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Right. Sometimes,
need
simpler
to get on
times
the
we had more
bandwagon.
common sense. Maybe we need more Skeeters in the world with just straight up common sense going, come on, guys, get your shit together.
Right. Well,
They
Skeeter.
don't know how. That's the problem. It's a money thing.
Yeah.
Well, and you're right. It is about money, but the problem is no one's going to be making any money if this continues. Who's going to be making money? Big Tobacco is going to be making the money, and
you're damn right.
And
everybody's
we're
gonna
running
go
out
back
of
to smoking.
time to get our shit together. That's why this needs to be resolved, and our focus on the right things. We keep our eye on the ball because again, I said this earlier today. This morning on Good Morning America, it was a whole segment on flavors and vaping and how horrible it was. Again, boom, again.
Right.
They're not stopping their attack while we're over here in a big circle jerk,
right,
debating. Who's more pissed off than who?
Right.
And
who's right, who's wrong?
Yeah, we're all going to be in the wrong. It's what the problem is. The shit needs to stop. And we need to focus on what's really right, keep our eye on the ball, harm reduction, supporting the companies that are doing it right, and supporting advocacy. And that's all there is to talk about.
Yeah. Well, that's the first time I've been to one of NVEs. I mean, it was a good show, but I've been to better. Because you got so many companies that's wanting to buy into these shows. Like me and you were talking, Rod. We discussed why certain people wasn't there.
Some companies go to some shows, some companies go to others, and some.
Exactly.
And the thing is I think each show has their own forte and do things different ways. Sure. And I appreciate each and every one, and I'll tell you exactly why. It's because people like you, Skeeter, and people like I met this weekend, Bacon, in fact, listen to Vape Radio. He came, he purchased every single just about commercial he heard on Vape Radio, he purchased their product. But it was his first vape convention. He was so excited. These people were happy to have this convention in their backyard in tobacco country. That's what I don't give a damn who puts it on. I'm not there necessarily for them. I'm there for the people that are coming out to that vape show, that are converting. I'm, the people that, I'm a smoker, and I came with my friend to this vape show just to check it out because they keep telling me about it, and I want them to meet you, Rod, and talk to you about them. That's what I'm there for.
Right.
And each one of them had their forte, and that's the reason I'm not going to sit here and piss on any of them, because the fact is there's good to be had and to come out of each and every show that there is.
Absolutely.
And each one of them have the right intention. Each one of them try their best, whether it's good enough or whatever, that's up for debate, but they tried to be there and put on a good show.
Sure.
We've got to do a better job at it.
Absolutely. Skeeter, thank you for the call, brother. Go have a good day, man.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, it's like I said, the focus needs to be on the right things,
There we go. All right, one last call, and then we got a dip. Hi, Vape Radio. Who's this?
Hey, Pablo, it's Bacon.
Hey, what
Bacon.
up?
Bacon.
Speak of the devil.
Everybody loves bacon.
So Bacon,
what's going on? Yeah,
it was your very first vape show. Now, just your experience alone, not all the stuff we've been talking about this morning, but just your experience. How do you sum up?
Honestly,
NV?
I didn't even know that was going on. Like, I have to give credit to Michael Wittenberg. Like, being that it was my first show, I came with a budget, blew it. For the simple fact is,
it won't be the last time.
I knew every vendor there was there with the purpose of advocacy. The men in suits are there to fight for us, but we have to fight for ourselves. People don't buy the crap if you don't approve of it. Rodman said it before, and I'm sure countless other people have said it. The almighty dollar is your vote, whether it's on pen or paper or not. If you keep buying this stuff, it's going to tell the manufacturer, hey, I'm making money. People must want it. Right. Don't buy the crap, man.
Right? No, you're absolutely correct.
And
look at him.
And that's what I loved about going to the show.
He grows up and he grows up.
Look at him. He's like a little pup, learning to scrap with the big
advocate
dogs.
getting his wings and flying, man. And I mean, he literally did. He came with his bag and he was like, I heard this on Vape Radio commercial and I heard this one on Vape Radio. I bought this one and I bought this one and I bought this one. I bought this mod for got me a Mach 1 and a this and a that. And I mean, you know what? I'm proud of you, brother. It was great hanging out with you this weekend. And I'm glad the fact that you were there all weekend long from beginning to end and you had no idea that any of this was going on, that to you, it was a great event, was it not, to you?
Oh, my, I was bouncing around like a pinball.
Well, brother, we hope to see you out at more of them.
Outstanding. Hey, you guys are doing a great Vape Radio. And, you know, Rodman, I'm glad to see that the Virginia Smoke-Free Association got the funding, man.
They need more, though, guys.
That is a win. That is what matters.
Thank you, but they need more. That's just a temporary fix,
Absolutely.
a Band-Aid. So, yeah, people listening out there, especially the manufacturers out there, if there's any vape shops or in Virginia, yes, get involved with your advocacy in your state area right there, virginiasmokefree.org. Do it, virginiasmokefree.org, virginiasmokefree.org, virginiasmokefree.org. virginiasmokefree.org.
I can't keep hitting the bell.
Yeah.
All right,
I
Bacon.
can't say it enough.
Thank you again, brother. We hope to see you at another show real soon, man. So have a good day, and thanks for calling in.
All right,
man.
thank you, guys.
All right, buddy.
man.
All right, well, there you go. Yeah, we've kind of gone long here. We're cutting into Scotty's time, but we're worth talking, and I know Scotty doesn't mind.
No.
I know he's going to talk about it, a little bit himself, So, yeah. I mean, there you go.
Again, virginiasmokefree.org. That's what we were there for, and that's what I'm going to continue to preach about this weekend, and it was a success.
Exactly.
And I love both parties involved in this. I love my vape family. I love the vape community. I want to see it continue on, and all this infighting and stuff, we've been doing it for years. We've got to find a way to resolve it and move forward, because that's the only way we're going to survive, because you can bet your ass they are organized, they have a strategic plan, and they haven't stopped. They were on the TV, national TV, with a much larger audience than we had this weekend, with a message that's completely contradictory to ours, and we have got to get our shit together and keep our eye on the ball, and we've got to support the companies that are doing it right with our dollars, not just a Facebook post, with our actual dollars, and we've got to support advocacy. We need more shops than 19 shops in Virginia, part of the Virginia Smoke-Free Association. That's it. We've got more now, but we need even more.
Right.
There should be 300 shops. If there's 300 shops in Virginia, there should be 300 shops that are members.
Exactly.
And that goes for every damn state.
Right.
Every damn state.
Right.
Because your local fight is where it's going to happen at.
Kentucky, you're on deck. Because
Yes.
guess where we'll be next?
Guess where we're coming next. And guess what?
Vapormania
Don't be a
Expo.
vape shop and come up and talk to me if you're not a member of the local advocacy.
Yeah, if
there,
you're not part of
the
Kentucky Smoke-Free,
Association.
we don't want to hear about it.
Right, because we're coming there with Mr. John Huck to do some good things with Vapormania Expo in Bowling Green, Kentucky. That's next up on the dock, and I expect to have a good time, and I don't expect none of this nonsense or bullshit. This puts just a blanket of shame on all of us.
Shame. 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 Shame, shame, shame. Shame on you. Shame, shame, shame. Shame on you.
Yeah,
This was serious, but it turned into something fun.
Yeah. Go figure.
That's what it should be. All right, stick around. We'll wrap it up here in a bit. Vape Radio.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Come hang with Vape Radio at Vapormania Expo, September